Here we go.
Cut the fix up. We some Xbox babies, put the switch up. See me gearing up, don't get it mixed up. I'm bringing commentary and new releases. I put the mouths in. Get play on X, scared, destroy you when I'm forced down. If you ain't tuned into that down, we some Xbox babies, put the switch, see me gearing up, mixed up. I'm bringing a new release, put the mouths in. To get prepared now, play on expert level, don't be scared now. I'm a I can tear it down. If you ain't tuned into the channel, keep your head down.
Yep.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. This is The Fix, joined with myself, Infinite Umbra, and my co-host, co-star, Daniel J. McGee.
Welcome back, everybody. You can hear us both this week, hopefully.
Armageddon.
He did. Didn't
Last few days have been kind of 50, 40s,
it? Weird, right?
which is great. Yeah, and I'm
we're
sure it'll be
rollercoaster.
cold here soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it switched up, man. I had caught a bit of a cold because of it too. I'm like finally getting over it. Like, but it ruined my beautiful singing voice, you know. But it's
Hey,
getting
but
back.
I'm even looking. I'm looking at the extended forecast, and it's supposed to get back up into the 50s next Friday.
Oh wow. And that's
So
Chicago is something
yeah,
else.
we're starting like the new year in the 50s in January.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's like when people talk about the whole global warming. I don't believe it. It's like, well, we couldn't have these weird weather effects unless some of this is true. Like Chicago used to be snowed out, and now it's like we don't get any snow in December sometimes now. Like,
It's
I think
great.
the
It's great.
past 4 or 5 years we haven't gotten snow like that. Or
You
if it is,
know,
it's really
the worst
light.
part, outside of sometimes the weather stuff here in the winter for Chicago, is the fact that all of our sports teams suck.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
You know, I don't actually think the Bears are that bad. I think they're just they're definitely the worst team in their conference, or division, whichever one is the
Central.
NFC North.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, they're all right. There's worse teams for sure.
4-10. They're all right. Says,
Look, they're in a really
Daniel.
tough division.
4-10. They're okay. They're a good team, actually. In fact, if they were
They're-
4-10,
look.
maybe they'd have a winning record.
I can name you, like 6 or 7 teams worse than them, easy.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you could, because if the season ended today, the Bears would have the 9th pick in the draft.
Well,
Wow.
Oh, there's at least 8 teams that are worse.
there you go. The
Yeah.
Panthers, the Jags.
But we just ended a season where the Chicago White Sox were literally the worst team in baseball history.
Sheesh.
Uh,
I haven't
And
even been watching lately, man. It's just like I'm like, nah.
The Blackhawks aren't good, but I mean, nobody expects them to be good.
Well, we did
And the
win some
Cubs.
championships a few years ago with them. To be
Yeah.
fair.
I mean, but what have you done for me lately?
That is true. That's how it works. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even look at Chicago teams like that anymore. To me, it's like, I know we'll rise again when it comes to that, but it's like, I hate to say it that way. We'll rise again. The NFC North will rise again. But yeah, it's always just like,
well, the NFC North's doing great. It's just Chicago.
Just us. Yeah.
The Packers, Vikings, Lions, all great. All
Damn
great
those
teams.
Packers, our mortal enemies. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even put like this. I wish. I used to be so enamored with sports. Like you all have no idea. Like I played football in high school, so like I was really into football and everything. I remember just like I was so into it, man. And I know what did it, but I'm not going to speak on it right now. But I know what took me out of it, and I have never recovered from that. but I'll keep that to myself. But let's move forward. Rand, my brother, tell the good folks what you've been up to, man. One of the more interesting people in this space for me. I always love talking with you and hearing your thoughts on things.
I finished Indiana Jones on Xbox, and I'm waiting to get my 1,000, but I'm glitched right now, so I have to have Machine Games fix the issue I'm having. Otherwise, I can't get 100% completion.
What prevented it? What was the issue?
See, have you gotten to the jungle level?
Yeah, what Sukhathai rather?
Sukhathai.
Yeah.
What you know those cog puzzles that are there's like 6 cog puzzles.
Yeah.
The last one I need, you know how each one guards an ancient relic or ancient artifact, right? When you solve it, you get to pick up the ancient artifact. The two, like each of the puzzles, you use like those little small cogwheels that you pick up and you put in your little pouch, but also there's like usually big cogwheels on the floor or in the puzzle you can manipulate to solve the thing.
Right.
Except in this one, the last one, I just need to solve this one, and I have all 50 relics. The 2 big cogwheels that you're supposed to interact with are uninteractable. So I can't pick them up and I can't do anything with them. So I can't solve the puzzle.
That's weird.
You know, I can't get the relic.
I wonder though if they may have fixed it today because I just had an update.
No, because I loaded it up when the new update came out, but there's nothing. So, that's what I recently played. I started Arcane Season 2 last night.
Oh, okay. What are you thinking so far? What are you thinking about?
So far, it's pretty good. I mean, 3 seasons, 3 episodes in. Although a little bit of my memory was kind of like, okay, who's who? Because it's been 3 years. And I didn't really think what happened on season 1 was a very good recap because I'm like, okay, what's this person's name? So that's interesting. Very, very curious to see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
And doing my reading Dungeon Crawler right now, among other books. I'm always reading something.
Always getting your reading on. I need to read more, man. I read like manga or whatever, or manhwas and stuff like that, but I just haven't read like books. But this one here that you're telling me about, you were telling me a bit behind the scenes before we got live, it sounds actually really interesting. You say it's like an RPG in book form.
It's what they call a lit RPG. It's like a video game in book form. This guy is in a dungeon created by aliens after they destroyed the entire human population except for like 10 million. And it's like he's in a proper Path of Exile Diablo sort of thing with health, mini map and oceans you get and spells you learn, but it's also the humor is can be very funny and crass, and it's obviously quite lighthearted.
It sounds like it'd be cool if somebody drew this or animated it. It'll probably be even better, I would think.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, Danny, what about yourself, brother? What have you been up to? What have you been watching, playing, or?
Well, as of yesterday, the 47th season of Survivor has officially wrapped up.
47 seasons.
47 seasons.
Sheesh.
And 47 was a really good season. It started a little slow when we were like learning who these people were. But I'd say like episode 4 or 5, it really takes off. So had a ton of fun with that. I've managed to indoctrinate several of my friends into watching it with this season because of how good it was.
Brainwashed.
A little bit disappointed in the winner, not because I don't think that they deserve to win, but because it felt really obvious by like the second to last episode who was going to win, because it was like there's no shot that anyone else here can beat them. But still really good, great storytelling, great contestants, loved every second of it. And then
Danny's a gigantic Survivor fan.
I'm a big Survivor fan. Big dumb.
47 seasons he's watched.
47 seasons.
That's insane.
Uh,
man.
He knows all the contestants.
Not all of them. There's a lot, and a lot of them
Sheesh.
didn't really do much. So, but the important ones, I could talk to you about Boston Rob all day.
I just know the first season. That's the only one I remember watching with my girl at the time. It was season 1, and that was the boy Richard Hatch or whatever. That's the only one I remember. That which was really
Good
a
old
damn
Hatch.
good season, by the way. But yeah,
It was. It's really weird to go back and watch now because
Yeah.
like it's very much a different game.
Mm.
But it's a good season. Yeah, I've actually also gotten several of my friends to watch that recently. So
Yeah, nice. What about any
Yeah.
gaming? You got any gaming on lately?
not much. I jumped into a new pack dropped for TCG Pocket. So I jumped into that.
Yeah.
I had enough hourglasses saved up that I could do 2 10-packs like as soon as it dropped. So I did that, and almost immediately got every card in the pack. I think I'm missing like 5.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh, cool.
Hey, hey, get it where you get it. I
Yeah.
for myself, I had been watching. Have you guys seen the show Severance?
Yes, I watched
No.
season 1. Yeah.
So I only watched the first episode, but I'm watching episode 2 almost immediately after we wrap up here because I have this like. This sounds so odd to say, but you all know the TV show From, right?
Yep.
Only
Yep.
through you.
So
I watched the first 2 seasons of From. Yeah.
did you like it?
I mean, I really, really like it. I'm probably gonna start season 3 here in a little bit.
Okay, cool. We got to talk on it sometime, man. So this lady named Julie. Her name is Julie B Deep Dives. Her channel, and I was watching her, and she does these crazy marathons after the show, like when it was airing, where she'll talk for like 8 hours. I'm not joking, and talk about
It's about as long as the entire series is.
yeah, right, seriously, and she'll cover like deep dive, like really go into it, and her audience sticks with her. Well, I've watched her while I was at work, so it helps my night go by like that, So I started to get into it, and she's a sweetheart. She really is. And I started following. I was, and she was like, hey, if any of you guys in the audience will ever want to jump on and talk, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, sure, hey, why not? I do podcasting. I got a voice for this. Why not? I'll try it. And I jumped in and talked with her, and we, gave up my theories of what is what. And man, it's been cool ever since I've joined her like two times, whatever, on her channel. And I'll be joining her tomorrow night as well, like just to talk about this, whatever. But they're doing a watch party for Severance, and they were like, "Hey, check out Severance." Umbra, blah blah blah. So I checked out the first episode, which was very like weird. Not even just for like the plot, but like the people. Like when they were at that table, and they were like having that conversation. It's like, what are these pretentious? Like I didn't understand that part. It was very odd. But I'm guessing more will. I'm like, did these people have some type of brain operation too? It's very odd to me. But yeah, that said, I'm watching episode 2. Then we're gonna watch episode 3 and 4 in her watch party on her Discord. So, it's okay. You've been watching it, my brother K. Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way, and shout out to Gray Monad, our mod. Shout out to Web Dave. I know you just hit your 100th episode, brother. Shout out to you. But yeah, Severance, I'm going to check out, finish that up, and I know season 2 is kicking off next month actually. So yeah, I'm getting in at a good time. But yeah, besides Severance, I had been I watched season 3 of From all the way through, of course, and yeah, I've been playing, of course, Indiana Jones myself, like you, Ran. Those types of games are dangerous for me because I like to check everywhere when I play a game like that. And my brain does not allow me to like stop to like not look for whatever secret that might be over in this corner over here. So
My man spent 30 hours and didn't leave the Vatican.
I swear, I
What?
was 30 hours in just about before I got out of the Vatican.
What are you doing in the Vatican where you spending 30 hours in it, bro?
I'm flirting with those nuns, man.
Dude, 30 hours. 30
They are
hours,
married
I
to God.
beat the game, and I basically almost had 100%. Like, what are you doing?
Sheesh. Yeah, I was sitting there flirting with them. They like, are you sure you want Jesus in your life?
Uh,
I don't know. Like,
you
I'm
sure
just-
you aren't just like leaving your console on and going to work so you come back and got 10 hours on it,
oh shit, hell no. I've
You know,
been,
like some people do around here to inflate their game time.
that would be funny. But no, I'm gaming it on a PC for mine. That thing is a power hog.
Oh, so does it double the time then? Like so, like an hour spent on
It gives us
Xbox
2
is
hours.
actually 2 hours spent on PC.
Right. No.
There's some sort of time distortion.
Yeah, see, like I get into it and I just I don't know. Like, did you use any guides or anything for yours, or you just solved
I
everything?
mean,
on your
I
own?
was playing the game before release. There was nothing. I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
even,
Yeah.
I couldn't see what the achievements were. And there's nothing. I mean, it was
Okay.
just so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, well, look, see,
there
I'm not
was no
alone.
guide.
Look, Hey Asante's in 10 hours in. He's been at the Vatican only.
I mean, yeah,
Pixel
the
Bit.
Vatican.
Yeah.
I didn't move on from the Vatican until I was like 9 hours in. Yeah, but
Okay.
it
Okay.
was like
Yeah.
9 or 8 hours. You're talking 30 though. Like this isn't. This isn't
Well,
like,
it might be
it was
this.
like 30 hours in the Vatican.
It
It's
might
like,
be a
okay.
slight exaggeration. Maybe a slight exaggeration. Probably
I
about.
didn't spend
slight
30
hours.
hours at the real Vatican.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening.
Maybe
I
if
was
it
looking at
you
the
said, like,
Sistine Chapel.
15, like 15 hours, I'd be like, okay, because even in that 10 hours or 9 hours I was there, it's like I did all the field work quests,
Yeah.
I did all the mysteries, I did all the discoveries and stuff, and it was like there's nothing else to do, and I'd be like,
Punch
that's what I'm
Nazis.
questioning.
Or,
You know,
or
like,
fascists, should I
What
say?
were you doing?
Punch
What were you doing?
I was punching fascists and hitting on nuns.
You can
man.
punch fascists in Giza. You can punch fascists in
Can
the,
we
in the
get that
jungle.
t-shirt?
Yeah, but like there's a specific beauty in doing it in Italy. You know what I mean? With the beautiful art and tapestries and I don't know, man. It's just, what's up, Cozy? What's up,
If
stranger?
it takes you longer to complete your games, it's all right. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah. This is why I can't play like any of these competitive multiplayer shooters anymore, man. I'll just get massacred.
Did you play Dragon Age Veilguard?
I did. I loved it. I put
Okay, let me ask you
172
this.
hours into it.
107. That's why I was going to ask you because I saw your time on it.
Yeah.
What did you do in 172 hours? in that game?
Everything.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I did everything in that game, everything,
Mm.
and I beat the game in 60 hours.
Same.
So So I'm wondering, what did you do for the extra 110 hours?
Well, first off, not only did I play as more than one class.
Okay.
He was just walking in and out of Harding's room being like, hey, girl.
Hey,
Hey, girl.
You ready?
Hey,
girl.
Hey,
you up?"
sweetheart.
So you played
Looking
it twice.
mighty
is
thick
what you're
over there,
saying.
a little dwarf woman. I played it multiple times. Yeah, I played it
Okay.
twice as a rogue and now as a mage, which I'm not finished all the way on my second. Although I beat it twice, but now I'm calling this my official second time because I got a different class. So I played through it twice, and
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense if you played it fully a couple times.
now
And
check.
you must really have loved Tosh, huh?
Well, no, Tosh, I did not. I didn't want her manhandling me. I saw how I saw a clip where she was like manhandling the man. I'm like, nah, I can't have you. I was making a joke with the fellas earlier, and I was like, I don't want her picking me up and carrying me to the bed. Like, love lift us up where we belong. I don't want that to happen. So I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I've heard from reliable sources that you're a little spoon. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't want anything to do with that. So I'm just saying I couldn't deal with that.
You know, if you don't get with Harding, she gets with Tosh.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yes.
Listen, little Lace Harding. She's a little thickums. I like them thick, Brand. I do. I like a little
Like thick and short, like 2
She,
foot,
a petite.
2'5".
Well, not maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
and-
not that short, but yeah,
In Texas, they call that a torta.
a torta. Yeah, no, listen. She's just a cute little redhead with freckles, and she's thick in the thighs. That'll do for me. That'll do for me. That'll do, pig. That'll do. But yeah,
Not thick enough. She got fully murdered in mine.
oh, damn. Why
She
You
did
you,
not
let her
survive.
die?
why you let her
I
die?
mean, look, I didn't let nothing happen. The game took her from me.
He took her. Anyway, yeah, listen, Veilguard, I got 172. Metaphor, which was my game of the year, I got nearly 300 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I did hear that game is quite long. So
It is, but
I do own
Yeah.
the game, but I haven't played it yet. And I was
Mm.
thinking there'd be some time before the next game I really like. because I was sitting there trying to think of like what's the next game I'm really interested in playing, right? And it's really not until Avowed and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about Civilization 7, and I don't really care about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I don't care about Yakuza. And it's not, it's maybe I would care about Yakuza if I did play the franchise, because this past year, I went back in my backlog and I finally played Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah,
Right.
did you? So what did
Finally.
you feel about that?
Game of the generation, bro.
Wow, look at
Absolutely.
that. Now I love
Game of the
Cyberpunk.
generation.
I loved it.
Like, for a long time, I was like, Elden Ring's game of the generation. Like, no game had given me that feel
Yeah.
of adventurous and like, oh my god, how
CD Projekt
incredible
Red.
is
It's what they do.
Elden Ring. And then I played CG Projekt Red, I played Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I have like 110 hours in it,
Okay.
and I'm like, this is right up there with Elden Ring. And the more I get farther away from Cyberpunk, the more I'm like, no, it's better than Elden Ring, or at least I like it more than Elden Ring.
It had landed better with you, and you know they've had improvements too.
Well,
so you jumped into
dude,
it at
the
a good time.
The story hit me pretty hard in Cyberpunk, and
It's a good story.
I'm glad I played. Well, it's got better characters.
Yeah.
And obviously it has a story and stuff, but
Wait.
I don't know,
Let me ask you: did Elden Ring have a story, Rand?
I mean, it has a story for
You-
sure.
You explain it.
I couldn't. I would need to go back and watch some videos, because it's been a couple years.
I had to
since I played
ask
Elden
only
Ring.
because I was having this discussion with some fellas earlier, and every time I talk with a From Software fan or fanboy, it's always like, yes, it did. It had a really good story, and I'm like, explain the story. You see, what had happened was, and they can never explain the story. It's very loose.
I'd rather have no story than what Cyberpunk gave me, if I'm honest. So.
You didn't like the story in Cyberpunk?
Hell no.
What?
God, no.
I liked it. I thought it was a really good story.
I got done with that main campaign, and I was like, man, I can't wait to never step foot in this fucking city again.
I have to play the DLC for it.
Daniel's a hater.
Yeah, Danny is very critical. He is. He's like the opposite of me. I'm more forgiving. He's very critical.
I think there were just too many people huffing the fumes off Pan Am's car, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, listen, you might be right about that, because I was being very weird toward Pan Am in my game. I was treating her.
That doesn't surprise me for a second.
Yeah. I was like, hey, wifey, that's a fine woman right there. And I saw the real life model who they got her off of, and she's fine too. So yeah, Pan Am is wifey.
Yeah, and that incredible expansion that they put out with Phantom Liberty.
To be fair, I didn't do
still
Phantom
have to play
Liberty,
it.
so
I haven't
Phantom
played it.
Liberty is fantastic. It's basically like a secret agent Bond mission sort of thing within Cyberpunk itself. You could make the argument it's better than the main campaign.
I've heard some people say
I
that.
think
if it's good,
and
it would have to be.
it adds an additional true ending to the game. One of those endings where you do it and you don't load back into the game; it stays at the main menu.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, like very very emotional. It depending on your relationship with Johnny, you can get pretty emotional.
Yeah, I like personally, I love the story for Cyberpunk, and I love the setting. It just had issues as far as like crowd densities and stuff. Like, it had clear technical issues at launch. I've heard they corrected it mightily since then, and now I want to buy it on PC to see how it plays on this 4080 Super. So I do want to like test it out. I don't know if I can get to the ultra super psycho settings or whatever. I don't know if I can do that, but I do want to try it out and see how it plays.
It must not be like fully fixed yet though, because there's a streamer that I watch. Do you know Wooly from like formerly of the Two Best Friends, but now he does his own thing called Wooly Versus.
I was like, the only Wooly I know is
Those
Wooly
words-
Gamer.
I don't
Those
think it's not
words mean
him.
Nothing to me.
Okay, well, anyway, he started Cyberpunk recently, and he's playing it on like some super rigged PC, and apparently keeps crashing the bitch. So I don't know.
Oh,
what's
wow.
up with that.
I wonder if he has that mod installed for the like super hyper.
I don't
realistic.
think he has mods installed. He might, I guess, but I don't think so.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I would call Cyberpunk my game of the generation, Rand, but I do love it, and I think it's crazy slept on because of
Well,
the
it's mine.
first issues.
I mean, it's mine. 1 would be Cyberpunk, 2 would be Elden Ring, 3 would be Alan Wake 2.
I still haven't played Alan Wake 2 either, by the
What
way.
is wrong with you?
I got so many other games that I'm playing through. Like,
You gotta prioritize
yeah,
the good ones.
that's true. And that's why I didn't play Elden Ring's DLC, because I know I would be on it for like 300 hours. And I had so many other games I had to touch. That had to go. If I get on that, other games are going to get left to the wayside.
It is pretty long, that DLC.
Yeah. And I just
Yeah,
know me.
so.
I know how I get into those games, and I'm just like stuck on them. But hey, let's move forward, because we'll be here shooting the breeze all day if we do. If we don't. Well, what do we have in the news, Danny? The news roundup.
All right. Number one, I got to get to this one. Normally we tend to save the movie stuff to the bottom of the report here, but y'all see that Superman trailer though?
Yes, we did.
Y'all see it?
Y'all see that Superman trailer?
Yes, sir. You want me to? You know
Look
what?
real good.
I can play it while let me play it as we discuss, or while you mention what you were mentioning.
I mean, it's just the teaser trailer, so we don't get a ton of like what's going on in the plot necessarily. But it looks really good. Just the cinematography of it, the costumes. There's so much about this that's just like, oh, they're finally doing Superman right. He finally looks like Superman.
You better not say that to any Snyder fan around, because they would tell you that it was already
if
done
there's a
right.
Snyder fan around, they already don't like me.
Speaking of
so
which,
they can frankly eat my balls.
Speaking of which, I've noticed a lot of the Snyder fans are hating on this.
They don't
Are you
like color or
surprised?
happiness.
They don't like color and happiness.
They picked the director who's pretty awful to stand for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when something good comes along, they have no idea how to process it. They're like, "What is this going to be the actual cut, or is there going to be a director's cut later on?"
Right. With
You
3
know?
extra hours into it. All right.
Yeah.
Can you
and-
imagine if they did that like just as a rib?
That would be
And
hilarious.
the extra hour they added was just like Superman sitting in the Fortress of Solitude hanging out with Crypto.
Sipping some coffee or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but what we going to say on this? I want to ask you guys your thoughts on the trailer too.
I'm very happy with it. There's
I mean, it looks it's. I mean, you can't really get a sense for what the plot would be, or how even characters sound. Like, we don't really hear Clark Kent speak or Superman speak, really.
yeah. He
So,
just
you don't get a
says the
sense of,
one
like,
line.
Yeah, it's all just
Quick
a
little
collection of
cuts.
visuals.
Yeah.
A collection of visuals sent to a guitar theme of John Williams' Superman theme, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of evoking those nostalgic memories of watching 1970s Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah.
But probably for the first time ever, you know, normally when you watch Man of Steel, or, you know, the Superman TV show that was on recently, or any sort of iteration of Superman, it's always like, how do people not know Clark Kent's Superman, right?
You're right.
Because it looked the same. This is one of the first times where you get a shot of Superman and then you see Clark Kent. I'm like,
Ain't no shot.
oh
that's
yeah,
the
I
same
could get
dude.
why people don't, because like he's got nice, you know, like kind
He's
of
got lice?
longer. He's got nice longer kind of hair
Yeah.
as Superman, and then as Clark Kent, he's got like the messy curls.
Mm-hmm. Somebody
So it's
called
kind
it.
of like, okay,
Somebody called it the Khan hairstyle from AEW.
yeah. So
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Tony Khan.
and immediately
Yeah.
like the trailer has him like saving people, which is like, all right, you know, and
yeah.
that's what I want from my Superman. You know, I want, you know, to him to stand up for those ideals. Yeah, so I don't know, like some of the villains, like Guy Gardner, or I don't know if he's a villain, but you know, Nathan
I think he'll
Fillion's
just
character,
be a dick because that's kind
or
of
Mr. Terrific.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know really know much about any of them.
You saw the
I
zombie
do-
face looking guy. Somebody called him a zombie earlier. We were talking. I think that was Metamorpho.
That's Metamorpho. Yeah,
Metamorpho. I think Nicholas Hoult looks really good as Lex Luthor.
looks fantastic.
Although my personal Lex Luthor will always be Michael Rosenbaum.
Okay.
You know, it's funny
That's
you say
correct.
that
That's
because he said he patterned himself off Rosenbaum's and,
Yeah.
and,
I did see that.
and off of Lex from All Star Superman. So that's the
I mean,
W right there.
My
Well,
Superman probably also will always be Tom Welling.
Yeah,
Rosenbaum
well,
is probably
I was a
the
Smallville-
only-
I was a Smallville nerd. I love that show so much.
Reeve
Yeah,
will always be
absolutely.
my Superman person. Christopher.
I think that Michael Rosenbaum might be the only Lex actor who hasn't been like canceled, other than the really bad one from Man of Steel.
What about
But
Gene Hackman? Was he canceled?
I think he might have been.
He might
I
have.
Canceled.
know Kevin Spacey was.
He got canceled so hard he died, bro. What are you doing?
That did happen.
Gene Hackman's no longer with
He
us.
got canceled to the afterlife. Huh?
Jesse Eisenberg wasn't a good Lex. and
Terrible.
Kevin Spacey wasn't a good Lex.
You know what? You know what's crazy? Kevin Spacey is an excellent actor who could have killed that role. They just gave him a trash, I guess, writing to accompany it. That's the bad part because it could have been used so much better.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what his role in that movie was kind of nothing, to be honest.
It was dumb.
So
It was the writing that ruined his.
A lot's writing on this movie, though. I mean, essentially the beginning of James Gunn's whole DC universe. So if this movie doesn't do well, who knows if we see their version of the Batman, right? Like, because they got the Batman coming and all this other stuff. So,
What do you guys think about that? Because apparently Gunn doesn't want to bring in Pattinson's Batman into this DC world here.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
yeah, I
don't
think
care.
I think that makes sense because they're calling it like, what is it, the like crime saga or something that they're calling like the Batman in the Penguin universe, like that thing is so much more like is very grounded and doesn't have anything like strange or alien or like magic type stuff going
Supernatural
on.
and
So
all
I
that,
feel like if
yeah.
you're doing the whole universe of DC, you have to bring that stuff in. So it makes sense to keep it separate. I also don't necessarily know how long that like different universe is going to continue though. Like I think that they've said that the Batman is going to be a trilogy, and then it seems like there's going to be some other TV shows that sort of go in there because they've announced, or not officially announced, but there's a lot of rumors of like other spin-off shows coming from that.
Okay.
So I guess we'll see. But I think it's totally fine to keep those things separate. I think people will be smart enough to be able to be like, this is this and this is that. Like, I don't think that it'll be an issue.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Although some people still think DC is Marvel and vice versa. So they're like, "Where's
Well,
Spider-Man at? How
Then
come
they'll
he
just
didn't
watch the
swing
movie
in?"
and be like, wow, bright colors, loud noises.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So unlike the previous, now the one thing I do will I'll say
Yeah.
about this is the colorfulness that you speak of. That already gives the movie more hope than anything Snyder touched. And Superman should be a character of hope. That's the thing. He's not a dark
that's his
grim
whole thing.
character. Yeah, that's the one thing I strongly disliked about Snyder's verse, and I still can't get over how he let Pa Kent die. I'm sorry, that was so dumb.
Yeah.
No, don't save me. Just let me die.
No,
What?
Don't do it.
Because
Because normally,
bothered me so
like
much.
normally the point of Pa Kent's death is it's like something that Superman can't control,
Right.
where it's like he has like a heart attack or whatever, he just dies from being old or something.
Mhm.
But in this, it's like he could just grabbed his ass. Like it would have taken 1 second.
Would have took a second. They wouldn't have seen him. They would have saw his father disappear from where he was standing, but they wouldn't have never. Oh wow! Look. Oh wow! Look at that.
What?
Hold
What
on.
happened?
Let me make sure because I had a copyright in the middle of us doing this. Hold on. Jeez.
Oh no! Is it for the very slow John Williams theme?
I got it muted so they can't hear it.
Oh, that's fine. There's no dialogue in it really anyway. So
Yeah, I got a copyright claim off just showing it. Sheesh.
Oh, off the video?
Yeah,
Okay.
let me read this.
I feel like, well, if they're getting us, they're getting a lot of people then, because we are not by any chance the only people showing footage or showing this teaser.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's see. It says after you no longer play it, it'll correct it.
Oh, that's fine.
Hold on. Sheesh.
It must be
Yeah.
it must be because it just says policy violation, so it's like, how did they know that that Umbra's not wearing pants?
Yeah. Let's see if it corrects itself in a second. Hold on. Let you type it in the audio.
I just refreshed it; it's still down, but it should pop up soon enough, I guess.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought, like, you would think that if you're not playing any music or anything like that, just showing it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Well, and I know for a fact, maybe it's specifically because it's being streamed, but like I know fucking New Rockstars and Kind of Funny and all them, like all of the reactions that I've seen to it had the footage in it, and most of them with the audio. So I don't know. I don't know.
That's ridiculous. Come on. Let's see.
Let me see if all those other videos are still up, because I would just have to assume they are. Yeah, the New Rockstars one's still up, so I don't know what the hell. That's really stupid.
Wow.
You got God, homie.
WB, we were bigging you up too.
Yeah, it was looking really good.
What the hell? Let's see if it corrects itself soon. If not, we'll just end it. I don't have time. This is ridiculous, though. Come on, YouTube. That's so dumb. I have people hitting me up in the background. They're like, I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a ton of streams on YouTube, but I've never seen it.
I guess you have to be added to the allow list first.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that would make sense for some of the people that I've seen. Like, obviously, New Rockstars would be on that. Would Kind of Funny be on that? Maybe. Some of the smaller channels, though, absolutely not.
Wow. Let's see. I switched off of it a while back now.
I wonder if you have to, like... Is there a way to, like, cycle the stream? Like, basically end the stream and start it up again in the same thing? Or would everyone have to, like, leave the chat and join a new one?
I could probably try that. But, let's see. It's back.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's back. It's stopped now. It says your stream is no longer being blocked
Way to go.
due to copyright.
Phenomenal.
There we go. Hey, guys. Sorry about that. This is odd. I guess you had to be put on an allow list, as YouTube is telling me, but just streaming it, no audio, nothing. That was enough.
I wonder if you can, like, mirror it. I don't know. It don't matter. We'll just won't show it anymore.
Yeah, I won't show it anymore.
But yeah, other than their lawyers, big fan of of this trailer. There's some, like, real deep cuts in it too. Like, obviously Crypto being in it and, like, Metamorpho is crazy. Like, who else but James Gunn would put Metamorpho in a movie?
Yeah, no, it's interesting seeing. I wonder, is that who he's fighting, who's like pushing him across the football field and stuff like that?
No, he's fighting. We've seen this guy in some of the leaked stuff. He's just wearing, like, a black suit. I think he's supposed to be one of the Authority members. He's got a big U on his chest, which makes people think he's supposed to be Ultraman.
World 2, yeah, Superman.
But if he's Ultra, I don't think he is.
Earth 2.
If he is Ultraman, he can't be, like, he literally can't be the one from the Crime Syndicate in a different universe. Like, that seems insane for that to be, like, in the first movie. But I don't know, maybe. Unless it could. I think it's just somebody from the Authority. Maybe it's like maybe he took Apollo and Midnighter and turned him into one guy or something. I don't know.
That would be interesting.
But it's not Metamorpho. Metamorpho he's a good boy. He would never punch Superman.
That's what I was thinking. Would Metamorpho fight him? But yeah, sorry about that, audience. Sorry about that, guys. I wouldn't have thought that it did that. And Jack said, I thought Umbra blocked me. No.
He did. He did, and you should be mad.
Secretly, you would never know. No. Yeah, I've never seen that happen before over something like this. And I'm like, WB, we're bigging you up. We're showing the trailer. We're putting it out there respectfully. Oh, well. It is what it is. You all saw enough. We know what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm personally, I'm excited for the movie. I thought the trailer could have shown a bit more of him, like, flying and such, and
for sure. I mean, we'll get another trailer probably pretty early next year.
Yeah, that's true.
Because this is obviously just the one for. I mean, when's the stupid fandom thing? When do they do that? DC has, like, its own event, right?
I don't know. I wonder if we talk about that too. Will they block us? You dare speak of fandom? You are
They did
blocked.
cancel it, what, last year or the year before or something? So
Yeah.
they don't want us to know.
So Joaquin says the Authority travels through the bleed, which is in between universes. I think that is Ultraman from the Crime Syndicate. It could be.
If it is, I mean, that's fine, but I do think it's kind of stupid.
I couldn't see Ultraman unless he's being controlled somehow by whomever.
Well, Ultraman's a bad guy.
Yeah, I couldn't see him
He's
doing
just
this.
evil Superman.
Exactly. So I couldn't see him just like, let me willingly just go fight Superman for you and mask myself. Like, he'd have to be controlled by somebody to make him do that, right?
Yeah. Well, because the only shot that I think we've seen of him from pre-release stuff is the guy in the like black suit. He's walking with the engineer from the Authority, which is just makes me assume that it's some other Authority member. If it is Ultraman, like whatever. But I feel like throwing Ultraman in there is very like, I don't know. It's like pointing at the stands, but then also you're not Babe Ruth.
Yeah. What did you think about Crypto, Rand? Did you like the addition of Crypto?
Bro, love it. Love the fact that Crypto's in it. Dog looks super cute too. So
cute.
Yeah.
Love him.
I think the lady they cast is Lois. She looks pretty nice. I think she looks cool.
Oh, Rachel Brosnahan. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
she's really good. Did you ever watch Marvelous Miss Maisel?
I didn't, but some buddies told me about it earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing like the advertisement for that. I never watched it. Is it actually
It's really
good?
funny. Yeah. It's more like a drama than a comedy. But there is a lot of comedy in it. It's very funny.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta check it. Is it some type of? It's just a comedy, like romance thing or something, or?
No, it's very much more like drama. Like there's a lot going on with, like the whole first season is about her divorce basically, but then she talks about that divorce at a comedy club, and that's where a lot of the jokes come from. And there's a lot of comedy in it. Like I would say, in the combination of genres of like action adventure, it'd be like drama comedy. It's like it's a dramedy.
Dramedy.
It's a dramedy.
So okay, and I'm guessing she's fabulous in it, as is the title.
She's absolutely phenomenal. She's very good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I haven't checked it out, but I'll have to look into it. Yeah. But anyway, what else did we have in the news, man?
So Sony has announced that they're not buying Katakawa, or at least not all of it, or at least not right now. They have, I don't know if it's official, like has gone through yet, or if this is them just announcing that they're going to, but basically they're going to own 10% of Katakawa.
It was a big blow up about that, and you had so many people having egg on their face. Did you all see the people online, our hooligans and Hoove brothers and sisters having to backtrack? I saw one guy claiming, well, that makes them the biggest shareholders. I mean, they can make all the games, available only for themselves and such.
I mean, I don't know why they would do that though.
Yeah, not only that,
like
but they only don't
just
10%.
make it make less money.
Yeah, it was just kind of hilarious to see, like so many people like, oh, that means they call all the shots. They got all the power now. It's like they only have 10%. That's not. They don't have the majority. They don't make all the moves and decisions. And somebody else highlighted that it was Samsung allegedly that has the most shares when it comes to that.
I mean, I could see that, I guess. I don't know the information outside of that PlayStation, or Sony rather, will own 10%. But I mean, the other 90%'s got to be somewhere, right? Is Tencent got part of it probably?
Right. Yeah.
10 cents like 7%.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, exactly. So he said he saw someone call From Software first party PlayStation Studio now. Yeah, I saw a few of those too.
Sure. Well, then they're gonna be really upset.
I mean,
when
Sony
the next
does
From Software
own,
game
like,
launches on all platforms.
Sony does own 14% of From Software, but
Is it 14 or just 10%?
But that's not.
I thought it was 10%.
well, no, they own 10% of Katakawa, and they also own 14%
Oh.
of From Software.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not
I
new.
mean,
That's been for a while.
Yeah, that's been like that for a while, so it doesn't mean anything. I mean, even when you look at the CEO comments about it, gaming, like we usually mentioned last, which tells you kind of the whole purpose of the thing was about anime and manga, and all this other things where gaming is kind of a footnote in a way.
Yep.
Not saying that there couldn't be, exclusive titles that, they like do together, but if anybody was kind of hoping for From Software to suddenly start making exclusive PlayStation games, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen at all. Yeah, but
I don't necessarily think that would have happened even if they bought all of Katakawa.
well, I mean, some people, yeah, I mean, there's a chance it wouldn't have, but there's also a chance that Sony's like
Sony being Sony.
maybe they would have.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to go from like full acquisition, like we are acquiring them fully, to actually 10%.
Strategic partnership.
But like even like Hoglaw was saying, this seemed like Katakawa was trying to fight off PlayStation in some of his tweets, talking about
Really?
the yeah, like he tweeted, because he gave his take on it, right? And
Yeah.
very interested in hearing his take, because he followed like the the ABK stuff, but he originally said let's see if I can get its tweet here. He said, notably, this is not an acquisition despite what you may have otherwise heard. Said another way, based on what we know of the letter of intent, this is best read as Katakawa fending Sony off. Doesn't mean it's not important. It does mean that the letter of intent wasn't likely anywhere near what Katakawa needed on price.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because there was the rumors out there that supposedly some South Korean company was looking to do a hostile takeover.
I saw that too. Yeah.
And that like Katakawa went to PlayStation to like be like,
Save
hey,
us.
buy us to stop them.
Yeah.
That was the last thing
So-
I had heard, so I was surprised when you said that Hogue was saying that they were like trying to specifically not get bought by PlayStation. But yeah, I mean, either way, really, what this ends up meaning is just like not a whole lot is going to change, probably very little. It will give them again. Since the beginning, I think most people were rightly saying that this is really more of a play for the anime space than it ever was for From Software, because like, I mean, Sony's a lot bigger than PlayStation. PlayStation is obviously probably their biggest moneymaker, I would say, probably at this point.
Yeah.
Especially with how bad their movies have been doing lately.
Yeah. Shout out to Craven.
Shout out my boy Craven. But their anime section, I think, has actually been making decent money because they basically have a monopoly of it in the West, at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Why? I don't understand how they didn't face any type of pressure from the FTC or anybody for doing.
They
all
know
of that.
regulators give a crap about Dragon Ball and
Yeah, I don't
stuff.
think-
Bro. We don't care.
they were
They're like, let
"And
those
I'm a
pimple
what?"
face dudes have to pay more. We don't care. We don't care about no anime.
He said, "Damn those geeks." Yeah.
That's
I mean,
obviously-
you would think it would raise some concerns, but they're just like, yeah, we ain't touching this. We don't care.
Right.
Whatever.
They saw a bit
I mean,
too much
you
of
know,
the
who knows-
hentai. And were scared
Who knows where
off.
this leads?
They said
Who
let them
knows
own
where
all
this
of it.
leads in the future? I mean, maybe it eventually leads 10 years from now into a Sony acquisition or something. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right
certainly
now,
a possibility. Like, because we just saw another thing that happened. I think it was a couple weeks ago now. Was Nintendo had finished fully purchasing? Was it Monolith Soft, the people who make the
Oh,
Xenoblade?
Monosoft.
Yeah.
games? I think it's like Monolith something. It's because there's two monoliths. There's the one that did the Mad Max game, I think, and then
Yeah.
there's this other one. And they
It
had
actually
owned,
wasn't Mad Max Avalanche?
was
yeah.
it?
You know what? I
Oh,
think, I think
right.
it was Avalanche. Yeah.
Monolith did
is-
Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're doing Wonder
That's
Woman.
right.
They're
That's
supposed to be
right.
making Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo like had already owned the majority of Monolith, and then just now bought like the remaining 20% or something. So it's possible that like in the future we see like, oh, they bought another 10%, they bought another 10%. Like they're just basically putting an installment plan on Katakawa. It's possible.
I mean, it's sort of kind of what's going on with Ubisoft right now, right?
Yeah.
Where
I-
where like Tencent kind of kept on creeping up and up with more and more shares, and the talk of like, hey, we want to sell, like the Yiz Gama family wants to sell, but also wants to keep full control of Ubisoft, and Tencent's
Yeah,
like,
not
if
typically
we're
how
going to
sale
take you
works.
over, that's not going to happen. But I mean, I think the whole Ubisoft thing, it does end with somebody buying them, though.
Most
like-
likely.
God
I
forbid if
think-
Assassin's Creed Shadows bombs like Star Wars bombs
Yeah.
for them, because they are going to be up Shit's Creek without a paddle at that point.
Yeah.
I was
I don't know if
talking
you saw, but like
um,
Tom Henderson said, they have like 10 Assassin's Creed games coming in the next 5 years.
10 in 5 years because we
Like
have what
10
like
in
4 or
5
5
years.
announced.
It's like you got Shadows, you got an Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, you got the Assassin's
Right.
Creed
Oh,
Jade
wow.
mobile game,
Mhm.
you have the Assassin's Creed multiplayer game, you got the like Assassin's Creed Igni, which is like one set in like the 1890s.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Is
remember
it-
Around like
that
the
one.
Salem
I
witch
remember-
I was gonna say,
trials.
was it a witch one? Yeah, that's the
Well,
one.
Yeah, the
Hex
witch
isn't
one.
The
There's
Salem witch
like a-
trials. It's a German witch trial. It's like a different thing, but it
There's,
is witch based.
Assassin's Creed remake, the original, like they're supposed to be remaking the first game.
Mm.
So like if you start off that whole stretch with like a bomb and nobody cares about Shadows, then whew,
Yeah, especially when it's
not
the
good.
Japanese one that everyone's been asking for forever.
Yeah. So
Like that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. Lucius pointed out there are 2 Avalanche studios, which is true. There's Avalanche Software that made like the Disney Infinity, I think. Then you got Avalanche Studios Group, which did like
Just Causes and stuff.
yeah, Just Cause
some
and
of
all
this
those types
stuff.
of games. Yep.
Some
That's-
of this stuff get a little too confusing for me.
Yeah. Oh, it's called Assassin's Creed Hex. That's the name of it.
Yeah,
Hex,
it's,
there you
it's
go.
Hex with an E.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a German something.
That's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of Assassin's Creed. But you know, it's funny.
It is.
Me and you were talking about this, Danny, some time back about Ubisoft and the Guillemot family having to likely sell off. Like, we thought it was a foregone conclusion eventually, and it's looking
yeah,
like
I
that's the
mean,
case now, right?
Ubisoft has been doing very badly for a very long time. I do think at this point, though, that the number one thing that's going to hurt their ability to get purchased is how global they are, because that's going to be really intimidating for most people trying to buy them, because it's like, oh, now I have to pay all of these people across the entire globe, and like there's so much different like legal things involved in having employees in all these different countries. So I almost wonder if we're going to see a lot of like entire Ubisoft branches be shut down or spun off individually, where it's like we'll hear like, oh, I don't know, Take-Two bought Ubisoft Montreal, and then like, I don't know, Epic bought Ubisoft something else, right?
That doesn't sound that far-fetched, actually.
I think that that's more likely. Between that or they just shut down a bunch of them and then sell it as bulk.
It's pretty sad though, because like
But there's also the other part of all that is that they also own the ABK streaming rights.
Yeah,
Right? So Microsoft can't
yeah, good
purchase them
point.
for at least 10 years.
yeah,
And that would probably also rule out an acquisition, say, from a Sony,
Tencent or something like that,
or
maybe.
even another big. You never know. Like you may think you're going to be good, but then you would also gain the ABK rights, and
Yeah.
maybe a regulator would look at that as somebody who's like maybe big in cloud already, being like, no, you can't have that, right? Because they do have that thing.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
I always see people be like, "Oh, Xbox gonna buy Ubisoft." It's like, well, legally they can't for 10 years.
yeah,
And you know what? And they wouldn't want to because it's like 16,000 employees.
it used to be
It's a lot.
20.
They don't wanna
it used to be
take on
20,000 at a
16.
point.
Yeah, they don't want to take on 16,000 employees.
Yeah,
and they
way
probably
too
have to
much.
lay a ton
So-
of them off because of redundancies and stuff. So I don't think it's worth it for Xbox or PlayStation to buy all of Ubisoft. I don't know. Maybe there's some like subdivision that they could buy that would make
Yeah,
sense.
but then you would have to
but it's
like
gonna
make
be
sure you
brutal.
get the IP. Like if you get Ubisoft Montreal, you just don't want
Yeah.
Ubisoft Montreal. You need an IP to go along with it.
Mhm.
But would Ubisoft be willing to sell Assassin's Creed?
Doubtful.
Probably not.
Probably not. No. I wonder if you
So-
could get like, I don't know, if
The
you bought
Division?
one of the smaller teams, you could probably get like, do they still own Rayman? Like,
They
you could
do.
probably get
They,
that.
they do own Rayman, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like
Does
they have,
anybody
they have
care
some
about
crazy.
Rayman though? Like,
I got
Those-
love for
I
Rayman,
don't
but I don't know.
I mean,
who
I
would
got love for
utilize it.
Rayman too, but like in a world where someone's spending millions of dollars on a studio and then millions of dollars on an IP, is that something that is
As
like-
as a
good
voluntary
business
business
deal?
maybe not.
That's the mint
yeah.
on the pillow. They're like, oh, okay, cool.
the mint on the pillow. Hey, like, put some respect on Rayman's name with his no limbs and such. But
You
it-
got them. They just float around.
It is floaty. Yeah. No, but I mean, like, it's a shame though because they have a lot of crazy, iconic IP in some way. I want to call it iconic. Let me take it back. They have great IP. Outside of Assassin's Creed, you still have, of course, the Division, which I know a lot of people love. So it'll be sad if like they have to sell off some studios or an IP like that. Then of course we got the legendary Splinter Cell. Still don't know what's going on with that.
True.
So like, I don't know. If anything, I would hope, I will say this, that Microsoft actually could acquire Splinter Cell license. I will say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that would be.
I guess.
Yeah, but
I guess the
that ain't
only
gonna
team I could
happen.
really think that would do a good Splinter Cell game would be like the Dishonored team, maybe, because it's kind of like that. You could do the same like I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of that type of game. It's like immersive something.
Stealth.
Immersive sim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You know what would be a good studio for that?
Who's that?
IO Interactive.
Oh yeah, could do.
'Cause
Yeah.
you could basically turn Splinter Cell into what they did
Hitman-esque.
with Hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Speaking of IOI, whatever happened to the game they were doing for Xbox?
Project Dragon.
Yeah.
Are they still doing it with the Xbox?
I hope so.
Who knows? They were as of 2022, but
Yeah. I mean,
we don't know.
it's
Very well, they could have parted ways.
it's a few titles we still haven't heard from. It's, such as Contraband, which apparently I'm hearing rumors we might see sometime this year. I'm hoping.
I mean,
You mean next year, like 2025?
Oh, excuse me, next year.
I mean, if Contraband doesn't show up next year, whoo boy, like
yeah.
yeah.
By
I mean, the
this
rumors
point.
are that that game has been in dev hell for quite some time, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
That
it
and
was
Everwild.
originally revealed in what 2021.
Mhm.
If it doesn't show up, if they don't show it in 2025, yikes.
Yeah. And like Lucius just pointed out, what happened to Everwild? He called it Neverwild. He said Neverwild was more like it. But yeah, that's another thing. And I know
That's my understanding. Everwild's doing good.
Well, I know they had switched like the lead guy after the other guy retired, right? He's like he took over for the project or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of expect to see Everwild's sometime this year. Probably
next
at the
year.
showcase. I'm
Yeah,
not saying it would release this year. You never know. Like, there are rumors that Microsoft has way more games than just the ones that are announced for 2025.
Oh, hey, let it be. Of course.
So could Everwild be one of them? Maybe, but
Yeah.
I think that's more of a 2026 game. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again this year. Finally,
Yeah.
after it's been gone for so long.
It's been a while. It probably will be a next gen game or something at this point. It don't seem like it'll be on track for this year. Well, this gen to me, because this gen would end what 2026 probably.
And you're
Yeah.
putting a lot of faith and assumptions about gens ending at certain points, huh?
Well, you know, we hear the rumors about the handheld apparently launching in 2026, and I feel like by 2026, how many years would that have been for this generation? That would have been what?
6.
Like 6.
Would that have only been 6 years?
I mean,
Yeah,
it
launched
started in
like,
2020.
November of 2020. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm overdoing it then.
6 isn't not like.
Oh, that's not
6
that
years
bad.
isn't like a crazy short period though. Like
Yeah.
we've had generations.
No,
that
6
short
years
before.
was sort of normal before the 360 gen.
Yeah.
The 360 gen was, depending on which system you were, was what, 8 or 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Xbox One, PS4 gen was 7, right?
Mm-hmm. Before that, I think it used to be like
so-
5 years or 4 years before.
It was shorter.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
shorter.
I don't
before that.
necessarily think that 26 or 27 are out of the question for a next generation.
I mean, it could be. I mean, we could definitely get a handheld by then. I mean, Phil basically said they are doing one, but it's years away, and we know PlayStation's doing one too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of
Speaking
when
of
those
that,
come out. But
did you see the thing about the with Jason Reynolds now that he's been promoted? Did you all see that?
yep,
So
Yes, sir.
he's been promoted to VP of Next Generation, and Valve is hosting this Lenovo special for I guess the new. I don't know what they're going to be doing there, to be honest, but they're hosting this handheld event. So it has like the claw on this image here. I don't know why.
yeah, it's probably an event that will show off like Lenovo. It's Lenovo, right? Like
Mhm.
they're probably going to be showing off because you know how like Lenovo, what is it, the Legion Go?
yeah,
right.
the Legion Go, and
It was like it's Windows based handheld, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
yeah, I believe so. Kay
I wouldn't
Asante
be-
would know. Where you at, Kay? I think he's a Lenovo head. He has
I
everything.
would imagine the next one will be SteamOS based.
Oh, there it is. He says
then-
they're
and then-
introducing the Legion Go S running Steam OS. Yeah.
Yeah, but the previous one was Windows. I bet you, maybe they have multiple. Maybe there's like one that runs SteamOS and one that runs Windows.
Mm-hmm.
They sell two separate products, but I wouldn't be shocked to see that also happen with like ROG Ally, the next versions.
Yeah.
They run SteamOS and maybe one runs
Windows like this one,
whatever.
current one. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, I was talking to some fellas about getting upgrading to the ROG Ally 2 if it comes out next year, which it likely will. So yeah, but yeah, that'll be interesting, man. I wonder still though if Xbox is really going to go the handheld route or they're just going to have it with their UI and everything like we're hearing with the whole hypervisor situation. If that'll just be allowed like a SteamOS situation onto the handhelds, you know what I mean? So I'm interested in seeing how that works. But yeah, what else did we have, Danny?
Not a ton. Did you want to? I mean, I can just blow through it real fast by myself because I think we're running out of time with Rand.
Yeah.
So really, the long short of it is the only other two things really in here that need to be said were there's a bunch of rumors going around right now. Some of them seem very obvious, like, hey, there's a rumor that January developer direct is going to happen, which, like, yeah, of course, it's happened 2 years in a row. Here, it's going to happen again. And then other two is apparently we're getting pretty close to potentially seeing that Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. They were saying next month for it, which would also coincide with that January direct.
Yeah.
So
that I'm actually very hopeful for.
I don't know.
Oblivion is on my Mount Rushmore of games.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Which you loved. Did you play Oblivion, Ren? I'm sure you did.
Yeah, Oblivion was my first Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, same for me.
Same.
Also, all of us.
I tried to go back to Morrowind, but it's obtuse. It's rough.
They should try to remake that too. But yeah,
probably.
If they're doing a remake for Oblivion, they should do it for all of them, right? Why not? But yeah, no, Oblivion has a special place in my heart. Cannot wait to see. Although we hit that fan when that was shut down, they probably would have done a better job than Bethesda.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely would have done a good job.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I got on here is apparently there's some Saudi Arabian news site that is reporting that apparently they found out that Horizon Lego game is going to be on Xbox, which is, I think, pretty likely at this point, just based on like the way the industry is going with putting more cross-platform games. Like even PlayStation is doing it. So I wouldn't necessarily. This is such an easy one for them to be like, oh well, it doesn't really count because it's Lego and it's already on Nintendo. So like I think that's pretty likely. They're also saying that the timing of it is like early next year it would launch on Xbox, which I don't necessarily know what the timing on it would be, but also it apparently hasn't sold very well, so it might make sense that they would sort of shotgun it onto as many platforms as possible just to try and get some of that money back.
I could see that being plausible, but I can't see anything else other than that because Sony still has that. They own that, right? It's not like Lego could dictate to them, right?
I mean, Lego is the license holder on that. I mean, they are using Lego. Regardless of the fact that Sony owns Horizon, still using the Lego stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not surprised it didn't sell well. I mean, considering, okay, it's on the Switch, but like someone on the Switch may have no idea what Horizon is. Usually, the Lego games are tied to some big important IP, which everybody knows, whether it's Star Wars or Indiana Jones or
Avengers and such.
Yeah, right. Where it's like, okay, everybody knows this stuff. Like, you only know Horizon if you're a PlayStation fan. And granted, the Switch is sort of a companion device for a lot of people, where they own a Switch and a PlayStation because the Switch never really gets any AAA games. Although that's going to change with the Switch 2. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes the industry, if at all. So I would imagine if you're a PlayStation fan, you probably bought it on PlayStation if you were going to get it. And like a Switch fan who does no idea, like, what's Horizon? Whatever. We know it didn't sell well on PC. And I would imagine if it came to Xbox, I don't think it would sell well either.
I don't think it would
either.
Yeah.
Probably not.
You would need like the Horizon games to be on Xbox first to actually build like an audience for it. That then would be like, all right, cool. Unless like Lego takes a bag for Game Pass or something and puts it on Game Pass.
I could see that maybe. That'll actually probably
happen with MLB.
Yeah.
I honestly do think that PlayStation will eventually start putting some of, not all of them, but some of their games on other platforms. I think that they have looked at how badly their live service initiative has failed, and minimally they're gonna need to start putting those everywhere.
And apparently they doubled down on it, right? So they're not giving up on that initiative all the way.
Yeah. Well, and we already know that Marathon's coming to
True.
Xbox.
And Fair
so
Games is still coming out. I don't know what platforms.
Is Fair Games coming to? I don't know that they. I don't think they've said
They would
Xbox for
be.
that
They
one.
would
But
be
honestly, at
dumb
this
not
point,
to put
they
it
should
everywhere.
Probably put it everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
not going to come to Xbox, just like Concord didn't, and then
Well,
Helldivers didn't.
Well, we didn't want Concord, but
Yeah, I think we were okay without that.
Yeah,
one.
you did. You told me you wanted Concord.
hey, that was behind the scenes.
Yeah. I guess the other way around it is that people might take it out of their hands because there's that rumor of like Steam being playable on or usable on the next Xbox, and at that point it's like, well,
That's
you
what
put
I'm
your shit on
hopeful
Steam,
for.
so
Yeah, that's
there
what
it is.
that's what I'm really hopeful for. And I remember having that discussion with Kay. Was like, well, how does that work? Because like, I was on Boom Show the other day, and people were like, well, Xbox games going everywhere, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, Sony
Yeah.
games are not coming to Xbox. And I'm like, well, technically,
yeah.
if
Well,
this,
'cause, like,
if what we're
imagine-
talking about next gen happens, Steam will be there, and we'll be able to play PlayStation games.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what if Sony's petty enough to tell Steam
Just
not
like-
to enable?
That's
Fair
what I
games
asked.
on-
I asked Kay the
I think-
same thing. Kay, could you write out what you told me that time? Because I forgot. But he was
They
saying, why
lose
would
so
they?
much money.
Yeah,
They
Kay,
would
I
lose
know
so
he
much
essentially
money.
said, why would they block it, right? I know that much he did say.
PlayStation
Well,
is
I mean-
already like not doing super great money wise, with how many things have failed for them lately. So like, I think that they would just be like, oh no, it's out of our hands, and then just like count all the extra money that comes in.
Oh
Would-
no!
Would
You know what I
Sony
mean?
would Sony be worried about a Steam console that also plays all their games?
Maybe.
You know, because if PlayStation's getting more and more closer to day and date,
Hmm.
which it does seem like they are, considering the time frame for a lot of their games is shortened. You know, Spider-Man 2 was a year.
Yeah.
You know, like if those games start to be really, really close, like if Death Stranding is, you know, 6 months or a day one, and if Steam is going to put out this console that has Xbox games, what if Sony does go day and date on PC, and then that console also has PlayStation games day one, and it's a console which completes with the PlayStation? You don't think Sony would
Yeah,
look at that as
competitor.
a problem in a
Yeah.
way? I think they would, but
It's possible, but I feel like at this point, like the way that the industry is going with just like trying to make products last as long as possible, it just makes so much more, like you can make so much more money off your products by just putting them out later on different platforms. So I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well,
Not
you
always,
can,
not
you
always.
can, but then sometimes it's backfired, right? Like we see, like how their games have performed after they delayed bringing them to
Yeah,
Steam.
if you wait very long and then everyone just like stops caring about it, then there's definitely like a backlash to that.
Yeah.
But like if they put Spider-Man out on Xbox, that would definitely sell. Like people would buy
yeah,
that.
yeah.
and people would buy Helldivers 2 if it came. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and honestly,
Yeah.
I do. Helldivers is probably another one that's pretty likely to come over at some point because it is just that live service thing, and because it's second party, so they can be like, well, you know, it's not really our thing. Because I think that's like the stage that PlayStation's in right now with it, where like I think they want to do it, but they just need to have an excuse first, where they can be like, oh well, MLB like made us do it, and like, but they're counting their money, like they're not unhappy with the amount of money it's making on other platforms.
Yeah.
And then like the Death Stranding thing, like they're still making money off that.
Yeah,
But,
Even-
like-
they sold that
like-
the rights off, of course, back to Kojima.
Yeah.
rather. Not back, but
But because they're still the publisher, like they're still making money off of it.
yeah,
They're not the publisher of it on PC or Xbox, though.
true.
Are they
They're
not?
not
'Cause when you
anybody
open it
off
up, it
that.
has the PlayStation logo on it.
505,
because-
I think, for Xbox.
That's
and-
what it is. But on Xbox it was 505, and so on PC it was 505.
Oh,
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, but
Either
yeah,
way, like I think they're just looking for excuses where they can like put their things on other platforms and then just be like, "Well, it's out of our hands," but like they want that money,
right. Like,
like
You know-
like
oh
every opportunity.
shucks,
they
what could we
can.
do?
Oh,
Well,
well, we wouldn't do that, but you know, Disney told us.
if it, mean old Disney made us do it. But yeah, Kay said Gabe would just tell Sony to go pound sand.
Yeah,
yeah.
quite frankly.
I don't know, but I always heard the whole thing was Bungie went to Valve and asked them to not enable Destiny 2 for the Steam Deck, and
Really?
Valve was said okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a PC guy like Umbra is or like Keisante is, so I don't.
Don't
know,
you have
but
a
it's
Don't
always-
you have a very capable PC? Speaking of which,
Sir, I do.
why don't you?
But that's more for future proofing.
Future proofing, huh? So you don't game on it at all?
Oh no, I haven't. No, not a single time.
You don't check out the glories? Like you could be playing Indiana Jones at its best fidelity on it. You don't want to do that?
No, because that means I would have to like go spend more money on a better monitor and stuff. And
You can plug it to your TV. You got.
I'm not running a 50-foot HDMI cord from my PC to my TV across the floor. It's not happening.
Yeah. Well, tack it up against the wall or something. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I'd have to buy another PC to put it next to the TV, and that's not happening. So
I have mine hooked up to the to my OLED, and it's glorious. But
does it make Indiana Jones a better game?
it does, man. My
Does it?
whips crisp. It's crisper.
Is it? So it wasn't crisp
It's
on the console.
it lacks a little crunch to it. Just a little.
Does
Yeah.
it? Does it?
little
Does it have
crunch.
a little
A little
crunch?
crunch, just a little bit. You know.
Okay.
Don't get that
So,
Nestle.
I gave it like an 8.5. So you're saying if I had played it on PC and with my
probably would've bumped up
4090,
to a
I would
9.
have given a 9.
Yeah,
Are you sure?
100%.
Does it make the
I
make the
really
story
doubt it.
better? Does it make the gameplay
Slightly.
better?
Because like
Does
when
it make any of that other stuff better, or is it just
when
kind
you
of
punch the
visual
fascists and
dressing?
Nazis in the face on PC, it just hits different.
Oh, does it?
It hits
Okay.
different. I don't know how to, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You hear them making noises, you know, they go and they getting hit. It's special.
Right.
It's special, you know.
Yeah.
But
that 4090 make the Germans sound different. You're right.
right. Yeah, go over to. But anyway,
It sounds more like you're trying to sneeze than anything.
Gesundheit. Stop being stupid. But anyway, no, yeah. So listen, let's check out this Exodus. You know what? I'm almost afraid to play anything else.
You shouldn't, man. You're gonna get
Yeah.
copyright claim.
What if we just don't? What if we don't this time?
I want
I'm
to
scared.
show it, but I'm terrified almost now. The Exodus
Yeah, we already
trailer.
got shut down
You think they would do it for Exodus?
I mean, probably
mean,
not. But
They did
here
it
we
for
are.
yeah. They probably not, but you never know, man.
I'm gonna dare it. Let's
Oh no, he's daring.
do
You done
this.
dared it.
Yeah, like audience chat. You know, to the victor go to spoils. You know what I mean? Like we. I don't know if that means anything, but yeah. Let's try it. Let's try. So yeah, this is Exodus with Matthew. Hey. All right. McConaughey.
Oh, is that why this is being talked about?
Yeah.
Because he's because
Oh, it's
I'll
being
be honest. I
talked
watched
about
this trailer and
because
it looks like
we
kind of
finally
whatever.
have a new Mass Effect.
Yes,
is
sir.
what it looks like.
Mass
Effect.
Archetype
The
Entertainment.
The only thing about this that it reminded me of Mass Effect was the music. Everything else was just like,
well,
oh, it's
the
like
third person perspective looks like it.
it's
too.
like
Yeah.
generic space shooter number 72. Like, that's all
generic
I'm seeing.
space shooter. Oh my
That's all it is. Like, what do you want? There's 40 games that look exactly like this.
Yeah, I should expect this from coming from an AEW fan.
What are you talking about? You can't tell me that you don't know, like, that you haven't seen games that look like this.
No, this looks
No,
pretty
because
dope,
they don't
man.
make games like this.
What are you talking? This is what like
What-
every
the-
sci-fi game for the last decade looks
What?
like.
How many? Show me another game that looks like this. That's
This
come
looks
out. in
like
the last 10 years.
Andromeda. Like it's almost the same exact
Yeah, which
art
was
style
a
as
Mass
Andromeda.
Effect game. That's the whole
Mhm.
point.
This isn't a
That's
Mass
the whole
Effect
reason
game.
people are excited is because there's a whole bunch of ex-Bungie guys that
Yep.
went to basically create the next Mass Effect multimedia stuff. That they even partnered up with Peter F. Hamilton, a very prolific science fiction writer, to
Look,
write the backstory.
I'm not calling this the next Mass Effect until they show me one fuckable alien. If that's not on the table, then I'm not. Then
You
it's
got the
not
space
Mass
frog.
Effect.
You didn't see the space frog? You could probably.
I'm not fucking a frog.
Well, hey, you didn't get set parameters. You just said one that you could fuck. There you go. But I haven't seen any sci-fi space games where you're fighting a bear inside of some mechanical outfit. I will say that. Let me go back.
I feel like
to
there's
that.
monsters that are
Yeah,
effectively
you ever?
bears in,
What
like,
game are you fighting Space Bear in, huh?
Yeah, I don't see any
I'm-
space
there's-
bears.
There's animals that you fight. They're not technically bears, but there's animals that have like that exact same skeleton that you fight in like both of the Star Wars games, the Cal Kestis ones.
Yeah,
But
those
it-
are Star Wars games. This is a Mass Effect game.
right.
This isn't a Mass Effect game. It's an Exodus game.
Mass Effect game. But no, I haven't seen any spacefaring type game that you have some mechanical bear polar bear inside of a fit. I've never seen
If
that.
your number one thing of like this doesn't look like anything else has bear, then like I don't know what to,
Hey,
like I don't know where to go with that.
We're just saying
but like
we're just saying it's Mass Effect coded. You can see it.
it's definitely Mass Effect coded, but I feel
Yeah.
like that
we
leads
go. We
more
got him to
into what
admit
I'm
it.
saying, which is that
Work
it
is
looks
over.
very like just generic.
I don't think it looks that generic, but I mean,
The robots look like Destiny aliens too, if I'm being honest.
yeah, I can see that bit. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but the game itself doesn't look like anything like Destiny, though.
True.
No, it doesn't look like Destiny.
It's
Well,
Mass
parts
Effect.
of it.
That's what it looks
Maybe
like.
the guns a little.
But yeah, also a little grapple hook and stuff. I like that. Looks really good to me. I don't know.
I mean, we'll see if it's any good when it comes out. It may not be,
yeah.
right? So
I don't think it'll be bad. I'm just not like interested in it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, there it is.
You know, somebody earlier in the chat said you don't like games, Danny.
I don't look. There
Somebody
are
said
plenty of
that.
things that I like that look interesting. This to me is just like I've seen this 100 times. Like
Yeah.
you need to really style on a game that looks like this for me to be
100
interested.
times.
You know what a game that is doing kind of a similar thing, but I'm more interested in, is honestly that I can't remember the name of it, so I guess I'm not that much more interested. But the new Naughty Dog game, like that's kind of a
Intergalactic.
similar thing, and
Intergalactic?
at least it has like a more unique aesthetic where it's like we're doing the sci-fi
What do you
thing.
mean?
but
It
we're
looks
doing
like
an
it-
80s aesthetic. It's like that's kind of something.
Sure, it's got an 80s aesthetic, but the characters themselves look like all the previous Naughty Dog characters ever made. Like as soon as they showed
That
that
is
main character, it
true.
was like, oh, this is a Naughty Dog character.
That is
right? 'Cause
true.
It just has
but
that
like,
look.
But like, look at the spacesuits in Exodus and tell me you haven't seen this 1,000 times.
Bro, you don't understand. Mass Effect was like seminal for me. You know what I mean? Like we're talking one of the greatest trilogies of games ever, regardless
Yeah.
of however it ended. And we really haven't gotten a space epic of that caliber ever since, regardless of whether they did Andromeda and was awful. You can't think of another franchise that has come along to kind of do what that game did.
No,
it seems
but I
like
also
this
don't
one
think
is-
that this is gonna do that.
Well, I'm not
don't
saying
know.
it will, but I'm saying just from the initial, from the pedigree of the studio and who used to work there, and clearly they're building a game that's supposed to give you that nostalgic feelings of early BioWare that did Mass Effect with like, we are making the science fiction epic with bears, right?
bears.
And
Check
How could
has
you-
there.
so like for me, when I watched the trailer, I'm like, I'm sold. I bought the book. I bought Peter F. Hamilton's like
There's an
Exodus
Exodus book.
because he
They
tied.
they have one
they're
for that.
tied in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 pages long, and it's really good. So before the game comes out, I'm gonna read that book about it.
I told
So-
jokingly, I joked around one time and said you need to start like a gaming book club. Remember I told you
You'll-
that?
You'll have to let me know
Yeah.
if,
I think you
if
should.
the book says that you can sleep with the frogs.
If it does, then your interest will
then
be
it
piqued.
is in fact Mass Effect.
Yeah, you listen. You have at least one supporter in the chat. Lucia said, "Hold on, Daniel was cooking right now." So you had one
No,
supporter.
no, Daniel.
Look,
Daniel
I'm not
doesn't
saying it
cook.
looks bad. I'm just saying like I need to see more before I care about this. Like this to me is just like there it is.
There it is.
Oh boy, he coming. You know, and I'm like,
Yeah, but-
pause.
Is it because of the studio? Because you mentioned Naughty Dog, and we didn't see much of Intergalactic. In fact, we've seen more of what this game looks like than what Intergalactic looks
That's
like.
true. Yeah.
it's literally just I don't care about this studio honestly because I don't like Naughty Dog as much as most people. I do like them a lot, but not as much. Like I don't put them on that pedestal that other people seem to. But there's just I feel like what is it called?
Intergalactic.
Intergalactic.
We know you don't care about it. You can't
I
remember the
don't- look,
name or
man,
nothing.
I don't care that much apparently.
We can tell.
But
What was
but
the
no, I just
giveaway?
feel like watching the Intergalactic trailer, it had more of like visual flair that gave it a personality where I was like, oh, okay, I understand what this is. Whereas this is just like it's in space and we're doing space things.
Yeah.
Neat.
How do you, Danny? How do you have such like this like whatever, like
Yeah,
so
I just, you know,
blase.
I just feel like most things kind of fall into this middle ground of like, yep, that's a game. Like there's nothing about this where I'm like, oh my god, that looks cringe. I can't believe that you can't fuck the frog.
The only
Like
thing
there's nothing about it like that. I'm just not excited for it necessarily.
it might be Hypnotic Frog from what's the name of that damn cartoon with Fry and all of them. Yeah,
Oh, the Hypno Frog?
yeah,
Or
Hypno
Hypnotoad?
Frog, Hypnotoad. That's it. Yeah, it might be Hypnotoad.
Yeah. If that is Hypnotoad, I will retract my statement
There you
until
go.
such time as we find that out. Though.
Find Spuds McKenzie in there too. But you know, it's something. I will say that the faces looked a little odd. They looked like it looked off-putting because you got like all of this other stuff look hyper realistic, and you see the faces, and it's like, okay, that looks.
It's
off.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just because it's probably like a bigger open world game, and so they just want to try and make a little bit of concessions in places.
Yeah, that could be. But listen, well, Exodus, I think the game looks decent. Rand is on board. He thinks it looks good. We both see the Mass. Well, all of us see the Mass Effect-ness in
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and Danny is waiting to see if you can, fuck the local
I need
fauna
to know.
and wildlife.
Right at the end, right at the end, there's like the little like splash screen that shows the 3 people.
Yeah.
And I really want to know what these 2 guys on the other side are, and they're just like not in this trailer as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why is this like? Is she a robot? Is that like clockwork in her head? Is that a zomboid? What are we looking
I
at?
hope it has like space battles. Like that'll be a nice.
Oh,
little
like with
something.
ships.
Yeah,
I can see that.
That'd be cool. That's one thing I wish Mass Effect did have, like stuff like that, where you just had space battles and stuff. I felt like that's the only thing that was missing. Same with Starfield. I felt like if it would have expanded on that, it would have made it so much better than the limited space they keep you in, this little bubble or whatever. But yeah, that aside, what was it? One more thing. Okay, yeah, we never did get a chance to go over this, Danny, because I did do a special show with myself, and shout out to my brothers K Asante, Lucius, and Slomo, who joined me for like a quick overview of the games we did, like after that was shown off at the game awards. Did you all have, what was your favorite game shown at the game awards personally for you guys? And I guess I'll play them as we go through it, I guess. And
for me, I think it's pretty much, I mean, it's got to be Okami, right? Like that's the big one for me for sure. I know that it's like 100 years away probably, because part of the like it was one of those announcements where it's like we need to hire people for this studio. Like it was one of those ones, so it is probably still like 4 or 5 years away. But for me, that's absolutely the big one.
Now,
it's like this is
Dude sits there and complains about Exodus
It's like a
for
cult
like 10
classic.
minutes, and then talks about Okami 2, and it's just images on a screen that led to nothing. It's like, oh my, what is this? Oh, and it's like the wolf with the red thing. It's like, oh my god, amazing! Oh my god, it's so
I'm not necessarily
great.
saying it'll be amazing.
the
but
watercolors
at least,
is what did it.
At least with that one,
Oh
it's
my
like
god,
it's
Exodus.
It's got like some amount of
Okami
uniqueness
2?
to it, you know. We're like, it's interesting.
I don't even. But how am I supposed to know what that game is? There's no gameplay. There's not even a trailer. It's just
Well, but it's got a 2 on the end, so I think we can take a couple of guesses.
But they got Kamiya joining in. It's funny, right? They got Kamiya, who seems to be ready to leave Platinum Games, by the way.
I mean, he already left. That's the whole
Yeah, he
point.
did.
Oh, yeah, he did leave. That's
there's-
right.
I think that
I know what I'm talking
I
about.
might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure the Okami game it's like obviously in collaboration with Capcom, but I think it's being largely made by like a new studio, I think.
Well, yeah, his new studio, Clover.
Yeah. So I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
But it's 100,000 years away.
Yeah. I hope that, Capcom did state that they're trying to bring back other older IP, which is cool, because him being in the fold working with this tells me they're probably going to bring back like something like Beautiful Joe. You all remember that?
I'd be interested in seeing some more Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, I can see Beautiful Joe.
Well, no, I mean
returning.
the big one about them bringing back is Dino Crisis.
It seems like they want to bring back everything but Dino Crisis.
Well, I mean,
It
if they're
should've-
saying they're gonna focus on bringing back stuff, and you're bringing
Yeah.
back Animusha,
oh,
which
man.
is the one for me because
Yes, hyped.
I had known about like The Witcher 4 and the Naughty Dog reveal and some of the other stuff. So
Oh, so you knew some
That
of the
one
stuff that
took
was going to
me-
be shown.
yeah, that was one that took me by surprise, and it's a game that I loved back in the day, and it was like one of those things where I never thought Capcom would really do it. And
Okay.
just like to see the souls floating, I immediately was like, "Oh my god, is this on Animusha?"
It's
And
funny.
then he
'cause
sucked him into
said
the
same.
gauntlet. I'm like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, it is.
Yep.
Holy crap, they're doing it.
We had a watch party as we were watching it, and literally, me and I believe it was Pixel Bit G. I'm pretty certain it was me and Pixel. We're both like, "Is this Onimusha?" And somebody was like, "That's not Onimusha. No, it's not." I'm like, "That looks very Onimusha-ish." And then the
Ain't no
soul
way.
started getting sucked in. I'm like, yeah, that's the Gauntlet. 100%.
Yeah.
Super hyped for this. One of the games I was
Yeah.
most excited about from the game show reveals.
I'm excited for it. I am curious to see like what they'll do with it because it's been so long that it's like I wonder what we're gonna end up doing with that. Hopefully it's not the joke of the. I haven't played the Onimusha games. Hopefully it's not the joke that I've been hearing for the last 20 years about them, which is like really great opening cinematic, kind of okay game.
I mean, you know what?
Resident Evil with swords.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
Resident Evil with sword. I guess that's kind of a good way to put it. You know, it's interesting because it's tough now to explain it because it's one of those games at the time, if you would have played it, it probably would have landed really well with you. But now it's probably so outdated. It
I
probably
play old
wouldn't
games
work.
all the time. Like I just played Banjo-Tooie for the first time this year, and I actually pretty much like it. I think it's pretty good.
Some older games translate still well over time, right? Some don't. So I don't know how it'll settle with you. I'm not sure. But I mean, I love it. I can go back and
I'll
play
get
it.
to it eventually. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I'll be like, how dare you? This game blows.
Yeah, you're right. Knowing you, I feel like you like
I
it
mean,
was
look,
all right.
Aren't there like there's like 4 of them, right? Because there's like
Yeah.
there's at least there's like a trilogy, and then there's one called Warlords, which
That's true.
Is that a remake or something?
I think it,
Is
no,
that-
it was
is that
just the
Xbox
fourth.
version?
It was just the fourth,
Okay.
I think, and it was like I know they brought in another character at a point. I forgot his name, but Simonosuke
Yeah.
was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was Simonosuke in the first game. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Onimusha, we got what else? You put Okami, and I'll
Yeah,
pick.
brother.
I will pick The Witcher 4, but we all like know about that. Let me pick.
Yeah,
this.
I'm very excited for The Witcher 4. My only thing with it is that I do feel like that one's obviously A, still quite a ways away, and B, I feel like that game needs to launch like damn near perfect, or it's gonna get torn a new asshole.
Witcher 4.
Yeah,
I think they're kind of on the clock because of what happened with the Cyberpunk situation, so they are in that situation. But I expect it to land perfectly well. And you know what's the beautiful part about it, fellas? It's an Unreal Engine 5.
Oh, so it won't run well.
Hey,
That's unfortunate.
hey,
Oh,
now.
sorry. Wait, what?
Hey. But another game that's probably an Unreal is this here, which is Project Century, which is likely a Yakuza
Yeah.
prequel, if you will. This right here looks way better than any current, even with the new the Dragon engine that they use for like Kiwami, which I loved. And Rand, you definitely have to get to. I was going to tell you about that when you mentioned it. But this has more dynamic camera angles, and I'm sure it's just for the cut.
Yeah.
But
I don't know
like-
if that's gonna be.
Yeah,
game,
fair
but
enough. But like
it
the
looks great.
brutality and like the visceral combat and the city looks better lived in and such. It looks way more modern
For sure.
than their previous
RGG
games.
announced like 3 things at the.
They did. It was weird to keep seeing them popping up like that.
They're crazy. They're a really good team. You know, they're efficient. With the Yakuza games, it makes sense because they're able to reuse a lot of assets pretty much the whole time, and the fan base doesn't really care much.
Yeah.
So it's totally fine there. I love that they're doing a different thing because Project Century, I don't fully remember the trailer, but I don't remember seeing like characters that we know. Because even
I
like
got it playing right now. Check it out. Yeah.
Yakuza has like not quite prequel games where it's back in time. There's I think it's called Yakuza Gaiden or something, where you go back to like samurai times, and you're just playing as Kiryu, but he's a samurai. This is clearly like a different thing,
Yeah.
which makes me think it's more in the ballpark of like those Judgment games. But also the fact that this exists kind of makes me think that the Judgment series is probably very dead now because I don't think it performed well. There were 2 of them, but
Yeah.
I don't know that people were like really
I got them
gravitating
both.
towards them.
I have them both, and I still haven't gotten to them yet. But
The first one's really good. I didn't play the second one.
yeah. But no,
Yeah.
the Ishin is what you're talking about too, because they had the
Ishin, that's
modern
right.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rand, did this excite you at all, Rand? Does this look good to you? Because I know you said you got the Yakuza
Project
games.
Century?
Yeah.
Uh,
Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a prequel to the Yakuza games. Pretty certain.
I
of that.
mean, I'm kind of ambivalent towards it because
Yeah.
I haven't played any of their games, so it's kind of one of those things that just is just like
doesn't
goes
register yet.
over my head because if I was a fan of the Yakuza games, I probably would be like drooling for this, but I haven't played a single one, so it sort of doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
Fair.
fair enough.
But maybe that'll change in the future. Maybe it would get Like a Dragon in and then Infinite Wealth. I don't know. I just don't see myself playing Yakuza 0 through 7 or whatever it is.
It's tough because I stopped at 3, and I've been told to leave 3 alone and just like watch a recap and move to 4 and go.
Yeah, I just don't see myself playing like 0 through whatever it is. But I could see myself
don't
starting
need
with
to.
like a dragon and doing Infinite Wealth or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But I also am one of those
do-
people that wants to know everything about everything. So if there's,
That's
Fair.
kind of
you
how
know,
I am.
I
Yeah.
want to
Well, if
relieve
you-
like all the backstory of the characters. I feel like I'm missing out and stuff. So
If you do 0, Kiwami 1 and 2, then you'll know at least enough of it. Like 4, 5, and 6 are good, but they haven't really been like remastered well or brought to the modern world. They probably will at some point. But at that point, then I think you're safe to just jump to Like a Dragon. I mean, you could just jump to Like a Dragon regardless.
You could, yeah. But I would highly suggest 0, Kiwami 1 and 2.
0 is just really good. Yeah, I think 0 is probably my favorite Yakuza game.
Really, really good. I think you'll like them. And it's fun combat, real interesting characters, good story. So yeah, 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2. Those I would recommend, and maybe you could just skip ahead. I don't know. But those 3, I would
Are those the
specifically
versions
say.
of them you played, or did you play the like original PS2 Yakuza one?
I played the Zeros and Kiwamis.
The Kiwamis.
Yeah, I never played the
Yeah.
originals, but I'm glad I didn't because they would look so dated now. We look
They're rough, but the
Yeah.
English version of Yakuza 1, Majima is voiced by Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of worse.
Oh wow. Kiryu-san.
Yeah, but he's literally just the Joker.
I can hear it. Like in my head.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning that. But what was another game for you, Danny? And we'll cap it off after we give to another
One
game
that
piece.
people will probably want us to talk about is Borderlands 4. It didn't really necessarily speak to me a lot. I don't know. I kind of looked at the new playable characters and I was like, just uninspired.
They didn't
you
look
know?
that. Yeah, they didn't look that like.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they look terrible. The like normal dude does look very boring, but the other 3 are fine.
Yeah.
Nothing
Nothing too unique. It felt like, right?
There's
about
just something. I don't know why specifically, because I used to really like Borderlands, but 3 just really threw me off, and now I'm looking at this one. I'm like, I don't know if I need more of this. I don't know if I need more. I think I'm kind of done.
It's kind of messed up because I got 3, and I've had it almost since near launch and never played it.
It's not good.
yeah, it's really not. The villains are kind of suck, and this trailer does the thing I hate the most.
What's
in
that?
Video game trailers is they start the trailer off with CGI of some kind, and then they end the trailer with gameplay.
Oh, you don't
And
like that?
it always no, because it always makes the game look bad. It's like you're showing me a game and it's like, okay, I see it and it looks great, but then you're actually then showing me the game and it never ever looks up to what you like. I get like showing, all right, CGI trailer, like let's say for example the Witcher 4 cutscene thing that they showed, right? You know the game's not going to look like that, but that's fine. It was like the first time they show it, it kind of resembles what Witcher 3 did originally, where it was about one case. And then eventually we'll get another trailer that's gameplay, but it's going to be clearly a step down, right?
Right.
I just hate it when they put them in the same trailer, where they started off with, the CGI or the cutscene, and then then they show the gameplay, and it's just like, what the, like they did it with a mech game in this too. Like there was like a mech game they showed. It was the same thing. They showed some cool ass like CGI, and then they showed the gameplay right after it. I really, really hate when they do that.
Oh, that Steel game.
Really,
Steel
really do.
something. Brutal Steel or something like that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like Borderlands 4 did it, where it was like, oh, okay. And it's like you're watching, you're like, well, I know what Borderlands looks like. And it doesn't look like this. And then they cut to what the game looks like, and it's a clear step down in every way. I just really, that's a pet peeve of mine. I hate when trailers do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess I can see that. I can understand that. For me, I hadn't played part 3, so it's not like I saw this was like, yeah, I gotta play some Borderlands 4. But I do want to try it out. But I got to see more to go off of because, like you said, Danny, a lot of these just seem generic. The people you have so far, I didn't see anybody that stood out, kind of like the original cast. And I don't know, but I do like the aesthetics. Once we saw some gameplay, it did look pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they haven't had an antagonist like Handsome Jack in it yet, so it's just felt kind of
And that's a problem. That's a problem
Yeah.
because the antagonists in 3 were awful.
Were so bad.
Yes.
And Handsome Jack maybe just is somebody you can never recreate again.
Mm-hmm.
So
They might have to bring him back somehow.
yeah,
He-
maybe.
Somehow.
He kind of exists in 3 too. Like there's like holograms and stuff of him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I have trust for the team. I know they make great games in general.
It is supposed to come out this year or next year.
Next
Take
year, I
Two-
guess. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is supposed to. And the Take
Mhm.
Two CEO said that they wouldn't release it GTA 6 and Borderlands on top of each other because they said they're not stupid.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
think
I
that's
guess
kind of the whole
Earlier
industry.
in the year for this, later in the year for GTA.
well, I mean, we don't know when Borderlands is coming because maybe Take Two doesn't know when GTA is coming yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would imagine if they can lock down if GTA gets delayed to 2026, Borderlands will be their holiday game, right? It'll come out in September like it normally does,
Yeah.
and then GTA 6 will come out in the spring.
I almost
But if-
wonder.
But if
If-
GTA does come
sorry.
out this fall, then you could probably release Borderlands May? June timeframe, I would imagine. Like
I could see that.
you definitely would have to have it come out before GTA, because everybody's holding their breath for that game.
Absolutely.
You saw the report that publishers are waiting to see what happens with GTA, because dude, like that game drops, you better
get out of the
delay
way.
your game like months, because
Facts.
ain't nobody, and you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know if they're gonna replicate what they did with 5, where it was like single player is out now, but a month later the multiplayer releases or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They could do that where they get, they just take up more people's time. Where it's like everybody buys the game and then plays through the campaign, and then like, oh, multiplayer launches a month later, and then everybody's playing the multiplayer, so they get more
Yeah.
the mind share and everything. And all the other games of the fall are just gonna be sitting there like, what the hell? You
Right.
can't release after Grand Theft Auto. You just can't. Your game's gonna die.
Yeah. It's not a smart endeavor. You know, there is rumor though that allegedly that GTA might be delayed until the next year. You think
Well,
any,
yeah, I mean,
any
that's-
belief in that? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's 50-50 at this point,
Yeah.
right?
I kind of worry. Well, maybe it's not a worry because I don't actually care necessarily about like how well Borderlands does. But my fear if I was 2K would be if I announce the Borderlands release date before the GTA release date,
Mm-hmm.
then what I will have told the rest of the industry is like, this is the one place that you know for sure GTA is not launching. And then a bunch of other people are going to be like, well, we can compete with Borderlands. Put their game out then. And so you'll kind of like be throwing a target on the calendar to be like, shoot here, bud.
Right.
No GTA in sight.
Yeah. And yeah. I don't know. I feel like it will launch next year, but you never know. You never
Think it's
know.
gonna come? You think it's coming fall 2025?
That's my thinking. It'll be fall 2025, probably November. Yeah, I can see.
Oh, you think it's gonna be November?
Yeah, either late November or I will see. Yeah, middle or late November. I would think. I feel like Rand knows something, but he's not telling us.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Take Two or Grand Theft
He's
Auto.
he's in
I don't
Grand
know.
Theft Auto.
Anything.
Rand be very coy. I be listening, and Rand be like, "Oh yeah," and he'll throw out a
No, I mean,
random
because
something, and then he'll be
Because
find out
GTA
later if he
games
know what
always
he's
get
talking about.
delayed. Well, yeah, but normally sometimes it has to do. I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Grand Theft Auto.
Okay. I'll take your
I'm just
word.
saying, like, I also sort of wonder if they do come out this fall, does that impact Xbox's fall? Do they delay
Well, they've
Fable
already.
and other
That's
games?
that's why I
Outer
don't
Worlds
believe.
2?
That's why I don't believe Fable will release next year. Actually,
Oh yeah,
I know they keep saying like, "Oh, it's going to release." I don't believe Fable will release next year.
because you believe GTA is coming, so they're gonna delay it.
I think not only that, but I think Fable is not ready. Because I remember when I was so hyped, I was like, "Oh man, we might get Fable in 2024," and then I saw like, "Oh, we need new people for this job." I'm like, "Wait a minute, don't you need that like at the beginning of the game?" So I don't know. I don't feel like they're done, and
I don't know. They see, Playground's weird like that because
Yeah.
they said this. People said the same thing about Forza Horizon 5 because there 30 open positions
is
on the
true.
team, and
Yeah.
they still ship the game like that holiday. So
That is true. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. But I feel also too like Fable is such a looker. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I just feel like it's such a looker that it's probably going to be a
No.
next gen game.
Jez showed me the gameplay.
Did he?
I saw some. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got a look at some sort of pre-alpha trailer or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about an Xbox 2, and then he showed it to me, and he didn't show me all of it,
Right.
but I saw
You saw enough.
like 35, 40 seconds of combat at the end.
How did it look to you?
Bro. We aren't ready, bro. I mean, it looks the combat
don't-
looks just like
don't
looks
hype me
just
up
the
like that.
trailers, man.
Don't
It
hype
looks
me
just
up like
the
that.
trailers, man.
Shay, listen.
It looks just like the trailers, bro. Like, you thought those trailers were misleading or whatever. It's like, well, no, the game looks just like that.
Wow. Shout out to Playground. I had my doubts, but maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I mean, I would delay Fable. Like, if you were planning on releasing Fable in November and Grand Theft Auto dropped in November, yeah, I'm delaying Fable.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. But yeah, I don't believe Fable. Like, even if it's a matter of it not being delayed because they have to do more stuff and more polish. Like, if GTA is releasing in the fall, you're not going to put any other game there, and I don't think Fable.
Well, yeah, you're
going to
delay some
earlier
stuff.
game. Yeah,
You're delaying stuff because you don't want it to literally get crushed.
exactly.
Because you know what's going to
behemoth.
happen when GTA 6 launches.
Everything else
They're
is going to
gonna
shut down,
Well, they're going to call it the biggest entertainment launch of all time for any product ever.
and it probably will be, right?
Because you know, there's even people being like, "Are they going to sell this thing for $100? Is that going to be the standard price?"
I heard that. Yeah,
Right,
I
and
wouldn't doubt it.
it's, if there's anybody that could get away with it, it's them,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Or like
I
an
won't
early
buy it at
access
$100.
bundle where you could play something and it's like $150, and most people probably would buy it because you're talking about the ultimate FOMO. You want to play Grand Theft Auto 5 days early? Who doesn't want to play Grand Theft Auto 5 days? You want to be? You don't want to be in that conversation? $150. Okay, yeah, let me play it.
Get some shark
or what
cards too with it or something like that.
Or what if
probably
they do
throw
a thing
people-
where it was like, hey, for $150, not only can you play it early, but you get to play the multiplayer 2 months earlier. So they could do a whole bunch of stuff where it's like super expensive, but because it's so
enticing with all of
hyped
that,
that people like, I'll be like, yeah, like if they're $150 or whatever, I'm like, I'm paying that. It's Grand Theft Auto 6, baby.
yeah,
Once in a lifetime sort of thing. I mean,
I can see some people who are like still heavily role playing in that game, having the option of getting in early for multiplayer and possibly like, get a $1 million shark card or some nonsense. I can see them actually doing that. Actually,
I think they almost certainly will, and I think a lot of people will buy into whatever it is. I absolutely will not.
like, me either.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not
You just
spending
wet
$100
blanket.
or $150 on some
wet
game. Like,
blanket,
I'm
Daniel.
good.
Every time something cool happens, like, oh no.
No, I'm excited for it. Like, I want to play the game, but I'm not paying $150 to get in on it early. Like, I'll wait. I'll wait for a sale if I have to. Like, I don't give all my money to 2K money.
Yeah. Danny he's really grounded. That's what he's really grounded.
Yeah.
I got other things I can play. Like, I can wait.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
okay.
When the game comes out, watch, you'll see Danny playing it and being like, I love it so much. What happened to you waiting? I couldn't.
If it comes out at $150, I promise you will not see me on there.
I don't think I could do it for 100, man. I'm already like weary with 70. I'm like, ugh, bleeding me dry. But yeah. Rand, what would be another one for you that a good trailer that was shown, and we could wrap it up after that. What was the good one?
I mean, I think when we talked about the Exodus trailer and the science fiction stuff, I'm a sucker for science fiction, so the Naughty Dog trailer for Intergalactic
Okay,
is something I'm very interested in, just based off of the setting. Like, I love science fiction stuff, and we don't really get a lot of it in games. So to see like this, it's like, bro, I know there's a lot of debate and talk about how the character looks and all that stuff, right? With certain people.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it. I'm just really looking forward to some cool ass sci-fi shit, essentially.
Yeah. The thing that has me the most excited about is not necessarily anything that they said or did in the trailer, because like I don't know, it looks good, but whatever. Nothing will compare it to them being like it's based on Akira and Cowboy Bebop. I'm like, okay, yeah, Where we going with that? What's happening?
I like that they're inspired by it, and they got the jacket. We can see that clearly.
Yeah.
I will say this. Like, I know a lot of people. Oh, DEI higher, DEI anti woke, woke. Like, if you all had watched I don't know if you all had watched the stream and actually saw the comments that were being made. If everything was shown, when Siri popped up and when this popped up, all you saw was woke, LL, woke. And it's like, these folks, man, they are a cancer.
Gotta get these people out of the chat.
Unto
we gotta make
us.
woke a banned word.
Yeah, like this should be a slur at this point. That's how they use it, as a slur. It's ridiculous. I'll say this: I like the way this looked. I did not like that they had her all bald. I don't care for. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I don't like bald-headed women.
She might be customized.
Listen. My head is bald. I don't want a bald-headed woman too. I don't want both of us bald. You got to have some hair. But so that
you trying to screw her? Are you trying to screw this video game
Well,
character? What does it matter?
if I get the option,
Trying to get with her?
if I can get the option, now.
Were you not
Well,
like
you're
younger when Ripley shaved her head in Alien 3? What's going on?
You're not gonna screw her. You're gonna be her.
Yeah. Well, listen. This is the thing. I
What's
just
going
think
on?
aesthetically, it's just not cool. She doesn't look cool to me with the bald head. I think if you see her actual, like the real person, Tati, and with that little buzz
She's
cut,
been bald before.
she has. But I think with the little buzz cut,
Looks
she
really
looks
great bald.
really good at the buzz cut though. Like the blonde buzz cut, I think looks perfect. I think actually will work better aesthetically with the character here actually. And it's not like she hasn't had it at a point, because you can see it in that image that she was with the aces, the 5 aces as they called it or whatever. So I'm interested in this. It's not gonna listen. That's not a game breaker or anything for me. I'm not gonna I'm not playing this because she's bald. But I just saying, like, if I had to critique anything, I would say it makes her look less interesting because she's just bald and sitting around. But I'm not like one of the weirdos out here like, oh, she's unattractive. She's clearly a nice looking woman. You can see it. It was funny seeing female Snake Plissken in the screen right there talking to her. And did you all get into any idea of this kind of had any feelings of Guardians of the Galaxy energy?
I mean, it's got kind of that same base aesthetic where they're both like kind of 80s ish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely some of that. The ship is, I guess, kind of shaped like the Milano, maybe
Somewhat Milano-ish. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. It's I think it's gonna have a little bit of that, but I don't think it'll necessarily be intentional. I think just when you put that 80s aesthetic in space, like that's what you end up with.
Yeah, I can see that. Also to the music thing that makes you think of
music,
Guardians, right?
CDs.
Yeah. Stuff like that. I'm hyped for this though. I'm really excited. This was also one of my biggest takeaways for the show. I also would hope it has some space battles too. I'm just going to be honest. Any game with spacefaring stuff like this, I kind of hope they have it. But yeah, I'm really interested in this, man. She has her little her energy sword and all of that. I want to see how the combat and everything plays out. I do want some customization though, because again, I do want to change her up, her look a little bit if they allow it, like clothing change. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am. Because I was even like that for like Stellar Blade. Like they allow you to do minimal changes and stuff like that for outfits or whatever. And so I would like that.
What outfit were you rocking in Stellar Blade?
I wore her with more clothes than less. I didn't like her running around all butt. I thought that was so tacky to have her running around butt naked. So like they had that I call it the Bruce Lee fit, where it's the yellow and it got the black stripes on the side, like the interlude. Yeah. And I wore the other one. It was like a black skin suit. I just thought it looked really cool. But yeah, any ones that was too flimsy and too revealing, I wouldn't wear it. It just looks tacky. Plus, I will point out, shout out to that blue number, Holly. She would relentlessly mock me or or wave me off if I dared to play that game and talk about it in her presence. She thought He thought I was gooning, as they call it. She thought I was just gooning for Stellar Blade.
You're a big time gooner.
I'm not a gooner, man. I just really love that
Oh.
game. I thought the combat was really fun. I thought it was fun. Did anybody else play that but me?
I played it.
No,
I played
you're
it.
the only gooner.
I mean,
What-
I played Stellar Blade.
What
I
did
thought
you
it was
think?
Good.
Yeah, it was good, right?
It was good,
Yeah.
but the worst aspect of the game was the open world aspect was awful. I felt.
Yeah, I can see that.
And also like it basically just kind of felt like, you know, let me just style my character, my sex bot in any different way and get all these different outfits. And I'm with you. Like, I thought she looked better with more clothes on than she did with less clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Story was basically just a bunch of gibberish.
Yeah,
Right.
Wasn't
The game was
strongest.
carried. The game was carried on its combat and how well that flowed with everything.
Yep.
So it was a fun
100%.
game.
To me, it's like that and Black Myth had that in common, where they did have a narrative and the story did make some sense. It just wasn't its strongest suit. But the combat is clearly the star of the show, right? Now, for Stellar Blade, I guess you could say the visuals, her being, you know, sexy or whatever and appealing, plus the combat were the stars of the show. But yeah, same way I felt with that for both. But yeah, I'm glad somebody else played it beside me, though. Everybody else was like, no, boo. But anyway, but no, yeah, this is going to be dope, I think. I'm just wondering how they're going to. You see people like some of the famous people they have in it, like Nanjani, the guy right there that she's one of her bounties. I'm thinking he's going to eventually be one of her crewmates when you go and find him or something like that and track him down. And then you see her former crew. She's likely going to go and track them down or something like that. It seems to me, or at least search for them. I would think. So I just want to see how that all plays out. But yeah. When would you now? I'll ask this and let's get out of here. When do you think this will drop? When do you think this will release, Rand? What year?
Intergalactic.
Yeah.
They said they've been working on it for 4 years. I can't imagine that's 4 years of full production. So it didn't give a date, so that rules out next year. I would hazard to guess it is a fall 2026 game or a spring 2027 game.
Okay. What about
I think
you,
they
Danny?
did say it is a PS5 game,
They did.
so it's not like a PS6. So yeah, I think late 2026 or early 2027. I think.
All right. What about you, Danny? What do you think? What year?
I think 2027. I think that they're gonna want to try and put Yote out next year, and then they're gonna like tap dance around Grand Theft Auto for the entire year and never give us a real date, and then they'll end up pushing that until 2026, and they'll be like, well, now we can push Intergalactic to 2027.
Yeah, I can see that possibly. When I was talking with buddies about it, I said 2026 as well. Somebody said 2028. I'm like, I don't think it'll be that long.
2030, baby.
I mean, I think here's the thing: what comes out first, Intergalactic or Witcher 4?
Witcher 4. Oh, no,
you think Witcher 4
might be
releases
might be the same year actually, right? 2026. I would
Okay.
think both actually would come out that year.
I don't think there's a shot in hell that Witcher 4 comes out 2026.
I'm with Daniel. I think Witcher 6 is or Witcher 4 is like 2027 at the
Really?
earliest. Yeah.
I'll feel like this with them showing a trailer like this leads me to believe that the game is further along than what we would have assumed. But at the same time, I guess we have to factor in that they don't want to make the mistakes that they made with Cyberpunk.
Didn't they just announce that the game just started full production in 2024? Like I can't imagine
it was this year because they did the whole thing where they're like, and working on 5 Cyberpunk games and 10 Witcher games.
It was
I
this
mean,
year, wasn't it?
So if they just started full production this year, like
that's a fair point.
about
Yeah. Okay. I'll change my mind. That is, sometimes the news kind of bleeds into the other so long. Like we've been covering these different things, I kind of forget. But yeah, we covered that too. And it's right. It did kind of just go into full production this year. Oops. So maybe you might be right. 2027, if not next gen for Witcher 4. So I guess this would drop before that. Maybe a year before. How about that?
I don't know. I mean, it could be even 2028 for all we know. I mean, they do take their well, normally they do take their times with their games, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the when the first trailer for Cyberpunk was, and then when Cyberpunk actually came out.
It's like 10 years.
How long was
Or-
the
I don't know,
disparity
it was like-
between that? Yeah.
Let's see. What was that first Cyberpunk trailer? Hold on.
The one with the girl with the mantis arms.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2012.
Was it
2012,
really like
2013.
that?
It was old.
Cyberpunk
Yeah.
trailer.
Because we thought that game was vaporware for a while.
Let me see.
Yeah, it was. Let's see. 11 years ago. So it was from 2013, January 10th, 2013.
Crushed it.
So 7 years before it came out. I guess they say like, what about the Witcher 3 original trailer? Let's see. Witcher
So the first trailer was
Sure.
in 2013. Wow.
for Cyberpunk, yeah.
Yeah, and then at E3 in 2018 and then 2019. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it was a while. Sheesh.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt debut gameplay trailer. Is this the first one? This one was 2013. This is the first trailer they showed. Maybe it was.
Yeah, man.
That's only 2 years.
Shout out to our Chicago brother Adidas 20. How fortunate for you to show up, Adidas, right after they show her Adidas on her feet. He drops a $2, a generous, as Boone would say, $2 donation. He says, "Salute my Chicago brother. Salute Daniel." All right, yeah, thank you, brother. Salute to you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Now listen. On that note, we will see when these things will drop. I'm going to have to pick Rand's brain here and there because I know he knows more than he tells us. And I'll maybe, you know what? I know what to do. I'll just buy Rand a book or something like that. Rand, you like this book, and he might reveal some secrets or something.
Yeah, I mean, I do need some books. So
Spartan 661 actually just dropped a donation. Thank you, brother. He said it's a $4.99 donation, $5 basically. He said, "Let's go, Daniel McGee, Infinite Umbra, and Randall Thor 19." Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. Listen, thank you all in the chat for coming through and spending time with us. If you have not done so, hit the like button for us before we get out of here. And as we get out of here, Rand, my brother, thank you for joining us. Always a joy to hear you talk. You and Jazz, always appreciate coming by and to check you guys out to get your insight and knowledge on things. I've said it before, but I try to pattern myself and Danny here off how you guys operate doing a two-man show like that, and I think you all are the best at it in this space. Personally,
I'm the Jez. That's why I've been playing Diablo the whole time.
Right?
yeah, you gotta play the
Pokemon or something.
someone's got to be playing something.
Yeah,
That's usually Jazz.
Hold on, I'll pull up TCG Pocket. Hold on, I
yeah.
can do
Play
this.
some Pokemon. You'll be the Jazz officially. Yeah.
I think I can open a pack. So we're going in there.
Right. But yeah, Rand, man, thank you, brother. Appreciate you coming through and spending some time with us and giving us your thoughts and such. Tell the good folks where they can find. I'm pretty sure they know, but tell the good folks where they can find you and what you'll be up to.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You can always check out Xbox 2, which is usually every Friday. So tomorrow, me and Jazz should be hitting the airwaves talking about last week, I guess. People going crazy over Satya's quotes and Jazz stirring the pot with everything. So it'd be to talk about. Supposedly Xbox has more games than they announced for 2025 than what we originally know about. So we'll be talking about it all tomorrow. Hopefully Jazz doesn't cancel on me and move it to Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, youtube.com/RandallThor19 is the place to be. So thank you guys.
Yes, sir. It's so funny because we had such an interesting conversation here. That was kind of the main topic, is the whole no more exclusives.
I just didn't even get to it.
I feel like that's kind of like not even really.
It's
news,
so
though.
tired though, the conversation
It's like,
of
we
it.
know.
But yeah,
They've been saying it.
it really hit me once you said that. I was like, oh, wait a minute, wasn't that
Oh,
the?
shit, that's right.
I'm gonna have to
I
change.
wrote that on the thumbnail.
I'm gonna have to change the
Insane.
thumbnail here. Yeah, I just thought about like, oops. Yeah, I'm scatterbrained here. But look, you know what I will say? Like I feel like I've talked about it. We've all talked about it. It feels like for so
sure.
much this whole year, it feels like we're beating a dead horse anyway. And I don't think I would have said anything, or any of us would have said anything that was too different than what we've typically been saying. So anyway, Danny, my boy. Danny boy.
Yes.
Danny boy.
That's me. All of those ones. Every one of them are acceptable names.
Yes. Tell the good folks where they can find you, brother, and what you'll be up to.
You can find me on Twitter or Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee, or my personal YouTube channel, Daniel McGee. And I will be, hopefully this week, finishing up my my Batman Black Mask script. So
Nice.
we're getting real close. I'm really happy with the way it's coming together.
Are you and your buddy still doing the retro thing that you were talking about?
We are. We're hoping to start that beginning of next year. We just got the art back from Fiverr, so we've got some exciting things going on with
Nice.
that. We actually already recorded the first couple episodes, and we're just backlogging a couple, and we're gonna try and get them started as early in January as we can.
Perfect. Beautiful thing. As for myself, you guys can find me Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite. That is on Twitter or Blue Sky. Where the skies are clear and there's less toxicity apparently. I'm barely on there, but if you entertain me, I'll entertain you, I guess. And of course, I'll be finishing up Indiana Jones, hopefully, if I don't get trapped in Sokotai.
Hey, you're gonna be like, I got
We've
90
been in-
hours in Indiana Jones. It's like, how?
Haven't
are you
left
doing?
Egypt.
Yeah.
Egypt took me less time, but I did do a lot, and I did everything in it before I left. I'll tell you that.
Egypt is a bigger place than the Vatican. What do you mean? You spent
was.
less time there.
You know what? I guess I got used to it at that point. Like I got
Oh,
used
so
to
then you don't understand how the game works, so you're
I-
just like, oh.
Yeah.
There weren't any nuns to flirt with.
No nuns either. Yeah, that's true. It was
Yeah.
just a lot of sand and dirt and fascists, so I couldn't really get my
Right.
game on out
The
there.
Holy Trinity.
Yeah, I couldn't get it. He had a few little Egyptians out there roaming around, a few Egyptian ladies, and I was like, nah, y'all look hot out here. I don't want to talk to you.
You look hot.
Probably-
Derogatory.
Yeah, he probably musty. I don't know. Let me stop playing. Yeah. As far as that goes, thank you all again in the chat. Appreciate all of you guys, family, for being here with us. Again, hit the like button on the way out, and we'll talk with you guys soon. You all have a great weekend and year. Happy holidays to everybody, because this will be more than likely our last show of the year. So happy holidays to everybody. Later.